What up? What up? What up? It's another episode of the Shark Cove. Today, it's a packed show, so strap in. We're probably going to be here for a little while. We are talking about the LEC. We're going to talk about the LCS. We're going to talk about the Bestball teams that we drafted, and probably a plethora of other things. Some bad beats, some underdog picks, Moose's hookah, who knows? But let's go ahead and introduce the guests. As always, and obvious, already mentioned him, the man with the hookah, the man that said he's going to shave his head if T1 loses today. I've got Mr.
What?
Moose. What's going on?
I said that?
Tell me you didn't.
I didn't say that.
Okay. All right. So you think that they're going to lose then?
No, but
All right.
I'm not shaving my head. You gotta relax.
All right. Fantastic. Well, another person we're bringing on the Shark Cove. It's 1:30 where he is, but he wanted to jump in, maybe talk a little bit about some stuff that he's doing, but also a big fan of talking about the best balls. Of course, it's Mr. Nathan. How are you?
Doing great, man. Doing great. Happy to be here. You know, it's not that late yet.
Lots of energy. I love it.
Oh yeah, tons. I'm hyped.
I'm feeding off of it. All right. And then making, I think, his third or fourth appearance in the Shark Cove. The first time, I think, with this many people. We've got the owner, operator, the man behind the stats, Mr. James McCool from Paydirt.com. How are you, James?
I'm good, baby. How are you? I'm excited to be back for my third time. I think I have never been on with Moose, the legend himself. So I'm excited to see how hard he hits that hookah. Nathan and I have been on together, so pretty excited to get into things and talk through some pretty cool upcoming stuff for LEC too.
Awesome. Hey, glad to have you, and glad to have this guy. He's been on the Cove plenty of times, but we brought him out of semi-retirement. You know, none other than the legend himself. We've got Mr. Gelati. How are you?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good to be back.
He's back again.
It's good to have you back. It's not the same. Probably never will be. I won't know who had what lead at 10, 20, and 25 minutes. And that's just something I'm going to have to deal with.
Don't worry. There will still be plenty of rage tweeting. I promise.
Sounds good. Well, all right, guys. I don't want to really talk too much about the LCK 2-game slate. I know some people are probably tuning in. They're probably interested in it. I'm going to go one by one and, just give me a brief synopsis. If you have any thoughts as it pertains to the 2-game slate, any little bits of insight. We saw two of these teams just be absolutely dominant a couple days ago. Took down first through 10th. It wasn't even a game stack. It was double LCK with a little bit of LPL team slot. Not what we expected. Moose, I'm going to send it to you because me and you sat here and said, look, it's going to be hard for these two games not to be in the optimal, and they weren't. We were wrong. What do you feel like today? Let's not make optimal LCK jokes on a 2-game slate, though.
Why did you take my joke?
I've heard it enough over the last 3 days.
I don't know. I feel like 2-game slates are played out. It's unfortunate that we don't have some LPL to go with these great LCK matches that Nathan is so excited about. Honestly, I think watching LCK right now, other than these like absolute throws by teams, is kind of a bit of a bore fest until 30 minutes. So I'm hoping that the games kind of speed up a little bit.
I don't know, Moose. The last time we saw these two teams play, they played some pretty exciting action-packed games, and I'm not being facetious with this. T1 had 2 30-kill games, and Damwon had a 23 and 21. Look, the other team didn't come and provide anything to those totals. They were 19 and 17. So maybe they bring that same energy today. Maybe they get a little bit of kickback. Nathan, are you staying up to watch these games, or maybe some LCK challengers?
The challengers is 5 a.m. my time. For the actual game is when I wake up in the morning, which is super nice. But yeah, I don't know how Moose isn't excited for this super technical League of Legends games. I mean, I'm so excited. I even got the challengers lines up over at Underdog. So if you're not excited about LCK and LCK challengers, I don't know what's wrong with you.
For who are those lines for?
For people like me, Moose, it's a ton of fun. We did it all day today with the ERL. We were sweating it out. I had people just absolutely flaming me, telling me that they would never tail me ever again after my first pick on a ticket that hit, by the way. Didn't hit. I insured it. I wasn't sure about them all. And that was the one. Not that these people paid me or anything like that. I don't know why my feelings would be hurt. Gelati, you've probably gotten a little bit of that hate before, where you missed a pick, it wasn't right, and people weren't happy with you.
Yeah, you get used to it.
Well, what are your thoughts here as we opened into the show before we hopped from backstage to start it? You kind of dropped a little nugget there. I think you're on the KT side of this T1 KT line or game. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I'm on both underdogs tomorrow. I really like KT roster. One, I just like the roster. Two, this early in the season, favorites have not performed well compared to market price. There's like a 3 to 6% edge just on spread bets. If you look at the last 3 years, that's in the first 3 weeks of all 4 of the majors, right? That's just like, I just took like generic data. I'm not going individual team by individual team. Like if you just blind bet every underdog spread for the first 3 weeks, it's like a 3 to 6% edge on market price. Like in other words, the market's always overestimating price wise what the favorites are going to be doing. So, and then it's an edge on outright as well. Once in a while you get an outlier. Like, do you guys remember the COVID spring for LEC? How favorites won like 75 of the games that season or something outright. That was a little bit different. Like I think it was like 22-8 in the first. Actually, I have it. I can pull it. It was it was 22-8 for the first 30 games in the LEC that season. That's like pretty much the most lopsided we've seen. But generally speaking, the favorites are winning, 65% of the time outright, but they're being priced like 69, 70, 71%, depending on the year you look at. So like there's just a free edge there. And then same on the market side. Plus, if it's a team that you like too, like I kind of like this KT roster. So, and then you got the teams coming off the extended season too. Any team that was at Worlds, especially teams that went to finals, kind of like fading them early in the season, just like I like fading super teams. So give me both dogs tomorrow in the LCK. Nice. Just on the map spread though, maybe a little bit on the outright.
I've got a feeling that we're going to be talking about that a lot when we go into the LEC. I like a lot of these dogs. Yeah. James, yesterday, somebody, asked a question in your Discord. They were curious about this Nongshim team. You said Bro is just absolutely an anomaly. They give up a ton of points. But Bro kind of, hey, they held their own. We didn't get Raptor out there. We had Umpty. That Nongshim team, they just couldn't put it together. Can one of these dogs put it together? What are your projections saying?
Yeah, I mean, I like KT. I think that KT roster looks good. I think they improved their roster. And I mean, T1, as good as they are, Faker, he's getting up there. And I think that in a lot of the ways that we see a lot of these teams kind of ramp up throughout the season, like granted, the ramp up time is not near as high as it is in traditional sports, but I'm willing to take a bet that T1 should not be as large of a favorite as they are against KT. That's most of my stance here. As far as DK and LSB, it's well profiled that I am just a Showmaker stan, like maybe the biggest Showmaker fan in the world. So I'll take Showmaker over LSB, especially because they lost Prince, right? Like I think that's a pretty big knock to the bot lane there. So I mean, I'm fine with taking a shot on KT, but I certainly prefer DK over LSB.
So with your love for Showmaker, I mean, higher or lower 6.5 kills in games 1 and 2?
Games 1 and 2, 6.5. Man, that's close. I have him at about 3.5 per game, so I guess over. But with the juice, like
some would say that it's an accurate median projection.
That is an accurate median projection. I would agree. I think that with the juice that you're getting, especially if you're over on underdog hitting those lines, probably just a no bet. I don't know that you can hit it. If anything, it's probably an under, considering I think that LSB might limit things a little bit. I mean, all of these teams are negative boosts. Over on the side, I put up all the positional boosts, and all of them give negative boosts to every position. So I'd probably lean under, I guess.
Yeah, I will say Nathan is scared. He's got no rival Showmaker up there because he just knows that Showmaker's coming. And I was upset because I didn't see a Zeus versus Faker. I was going to run it back. Cost me a ton of money. Moose, you and me picked this, and Faker, channeled something that we hadn't seen all that much last summer. We saw it a couple times, but this dude was just killing people left and right, and Zeus was just chilling. It got pretty close at the end. We almost had it. Didn't happen. Tears were shed. So look, hey, that's enough on the LCK. It's a 2-gamer, guys. Just mix and match or pick a side, play a dog, or you know what? Max enter, put the same lineup in, and just hope that you get some Magic Kyle love. One of those things. Those are your like 3 or 4 different strategies. Don't overthink it. That's the thoughts. Let's go into the LEC. Now, Gelati, you weren't here for the LPL LCK tier list. And I will say that Mr. Nathan was pretty high in FPX, and FPX has not looked very exciting.
His
He was
call
pretty high on EDG, and
EDG call
you know,
was
like
EDG was
we
good.
we were all way too low on IG, but I think IG is actually going to be like anyone's legend of last season, where they beat these cupcakes and they're going to get smacked. But let's talk about LEC. What are your thoughts on these teams? Who do you like the best? Who would you put in the S tier, Gelati?
I know this is like not exactly the hottest take or anything, but I kind of think it's just going to be the same teams it was last season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think all that much has really changed. Like, I mean, you have some roster switch ups. You got Eevee coming in for Heretics, and you know, but you have a bunch of individual changes. Vitality's going to try. We're going to get Bo finally. Maybe that ends up being a great thing for them. I have to think Vitality gets a bump, but a lot of these teams that have made changes, you know, again, I'm not going to give you any hot takes here. Like, we just don't know until we see it happen. You know what I mean? Like, we can speculate. It's probably I would think Excel probably take a step forward. They were pretty good most of last season. They maybe take a step forward from the okay, we barely cracked playoffs to like maybe we're actually kind of good tier. If you want to give like an A tier maybe to them, but it's just going to be Rogue or Koi, I guess now, right? And probably G2, even with the changes. If I had and Fnatic, if I had to pick one that's like a little weird, it's probably Vitality, but I don't even think that's that like much of a hot take or anything like that. I don't know. It's pretty boring. Like I actually think the market, like if you look at the futures market for this, it's got it pretty much where I'm at. So
yeah, I'm pretty low on Fnatic. Not as low as I am on Astralis, and I'd love Excel. It's just for like Xerxes. I mean, I think he's like the second worst jungler out of this group here, behind or just slightly above 113, and that's because at least Xerxes is somewhat serviceable. 113 is just a complete griefer in an ERL level. God only knows what's going to happen when he gets to this level. You know, G2 I think is pretty exciting. This Yike guy is a great supportive jungler. And I think that's kind of something that they need. They have a solid bot lane. You know, it's hard to not like them. I do like Heretics too. Moose, what's your take? Is there a team that you hate? Is there a team that you love? Is there somebody that you think is going to surprise us?
Yeah, I think my best ball drafts kind of speak for themselves, but I was pretty high on G2 overall.
Really taking a leap of faith there. I'm impressed.
I mean, I feel like LEC is like the more things change, the more things stay the same.
yeah,
Where I really don't see any of the teams that you know, have underperformed in the past really making a break for the top. Like Gelati says, every season we show up and we get excited for Vitality, and then every season we go home thinking, oh man, not like another ride down the road. So I think just you know, the typical G2 whatever this Koi team is, I guess formerly Rogue is now Koi, and honestly, I'm interested to see what Mad Lions does.
I think Mad Lions and Heretics are like your boom, not boom or bust, but I think they've got the widest range of outcomes. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
Yeah.
No, I do.
Yeah,
Heretics can be like crazy good, but they can also just come out and just like do nothing.
I think Heretics could be the same thing. Like Eevee's a monster player. Like he's really, really good. I know he's just been. I mean, it's the Japanese league, but he's seen plenty of international experience and he's performed really, really well there. So, I mean, that could be a thing. Ruby's a really, really good player. Has been for a long time. Just hasn't really ever been on a good team. So I think those two teams kind of got a wide range of outcomes. I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts? Like if you had to pick like a team that's going to bust out, who do you think it's going to be? Who's got the widest range of outcomes leaning toward the upside? Who's got the widest toward the downside? Is it just those two teams?
James, why don't you take that first?
it's so hard to say anybody but heretics. I think that I'm interested to see what Jankos can bring to them. Yeah. Because I think that especially with how important the jungle role has been, especially in season 12 and going into season 13, it's not like it got any worse, right? Like jungle, the changes that they have made through the preseason and into season 13 have only made jungle significantly easier. And I think that it fits a little bit more of the role that Jankos wants to play, where he can be a little bit more dictative of what he does after his first clear. So I think that Jankos brings a lot to them. But you look at the other rosters here, you're like BDS, who's the carry here? Like who can even do anything for them? There's nobody there that's working.
They call up their academy bot laner.
Yeah, they suck, man. And then SK, I have liked SK because I think their coach does some really interesting things. I think their management is like willing to do some really weirdo stuff. Like SK, it might have been 2 years ago during the winter split, they broke out probably the most solo queue comp that I've ever seen. They had like a Twitch, an Evelyn, a TF, a Shen, and like it was like full globals and everybody's invisible, and it was the coolest comp I've ever seen. So like I respect them for being able to do that, but I don't think they're good. And Astralis blows, they're not going to be worth anything. So yeah, like the only things you can really look at are G2, Mad Lions, Koi, Fnatic, and then is it going to be Heretics or Excel? And Vitality. I want to like Vitality, but I don't know if you guys paid attention to the last set of changes that they're coming up with in 13.2, but it's like ADCs are now going to be God. So like the bot lane power is going to be so strong as we come into this split that if you don't have a strong bot lane, I just think you're dead on arrival. And I don't think that Neon and Kaiser are like going to hold that together. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think they can hold it together. So that's kind of like my thoughts on all that. LEC just is LEC. It's just going to be the same thing it's always been.
I'm kind of interested about the format too, like how that's going to affect how people approach things. Like maybe we won't see the slow start. Like, you know, in years past, we've seen, you know, teams kind of be willing to. I mean, it was Vitality last year. Maybe they didn't do it on purpose, but, you know, maybe not exactly giving it their all for the first couple weeks, kind of like easing into the season. I don't know if you're going to be able to get away with doing that this year. You know, if you have a threat of like being out, you know what I'm saying? Like for the year, like after the 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's let's see. Yeah, basically. We got 3 super weeks, and then we go into 2 teams being eliminated, at least from getting an opportunity to get more points. It's just hard to see this not being like Astralis, SK, or BDS, like 2 of those teams. Like, look, I'm not high on Fnatic. I don't think Fnatic is going to be that same Fnatic, even, you know, adding Reckless back. I don't think he's the same. I mean, all these reports are coming out as, you know, why Carmine kind of split ways with him, a lot of dysfunction that was happening. He wasn't happy there. This roster, just when you look at some of these other ones, G2, like I said, you know, you're solid in every place. I'm not a huge Hans fan. I think he's kind of past his better years, but, you know, again, really solid. You have a jungler that's going to support all of these different lanes, and you have a great top laner. But I mean, look, top lane is just stacked in the LEC. And that, I guess, is what I think propels Excel, is that, you know, having Odo there, I think, is huge for them. And I think it's a huge hit to Koi. Jizenda is not anywhere near the same player that he is. They've kept essentially the same roster, but I think that like that roster revolved around what Odo brought or didn't bring, or or didn't give up, I should say, to the other teams. So I don't know. The other thing that I'm really excited about is that we better have like a higher lower on Bo, you know, in week 1, Nathan.
Just 12.0.
Okay.
Give me under all day.
Give him the.
All right. Well, we got that out of the way. Let's take a look at some of these games and let's just get some initial thoughts. Let me pop over here. Let's do this. Let's make it bigger. We've got G2 versus Excel. The very first game opens us up with a banger. G2's at -193. Excel is +150. Gelati, I feel like we've bet this line, bet these 2 teams I think I accidentally bet him 3 times. I recall being drunk and betting it, waking up in the morning and saying, "Oh man, this is a good line," and I bet it. And I bet a better line the day before, and it failed me. Are we going here? Are we betting the over under? I mean, I think they got the number at 25, and the games have been a lot bloodier in some of the other regions to start the year. No TP changes, no durability changes. What do you think about this first game?
Totals have been like super volatile. Like it's either completely dead. Like there has not been a whole lot in the range. It's either way over, way under. So a lot of volatility in game totals. So I don't really. I mean, you're kind of flipping a coin a little bit there, but in terms of a side on this, if I had to take something, it'd probably be Excel kill spread. I think you're getting 5.5. It looks like 5.5. 5.5 is not great though. So this is probably just Excel or pass.
James, what do you feel?
Just give me G2. I just think that G2 is so much better than that. Than this Excel team. I think that Excel is fine. I think that they will have some good games, but I absolutely do not think that they should be only 150. If they were like 175, and it's kill spread of like 6.5, okay, sure. But no, that's not enough.
I don't remember the last time G2 was an opening game on a slate. I mean, it's possibly because we're opening up the winter season, but yeah, usually they're reserved for one of those last games. Nathan, what's your take here?
I'm always the bet against G2 guy. So as much as I also hated Excel last year, I think that they look pretty decent this year. So I would probably just take Excel straight up here. I have nothing open right now to like give you any sort of data behind it. That's just like do I want to bet on G2? No, let me take Excel.
Moose.
I'd have to go with G2 disappointing us to start the split as always. They just disappoint us all the time. I just want to know,
only one out of all of us on G2? Are you serious?
Can any of these LEC supports play Jhin?
Everyone's playing Jhin right now.
Can anyone play Jhin?
Everyone can play it.
Look,
I hope that they do, because I'm going to hit just the overs on every single one of the Jhin supports.
If there's any support in the LEC that's going to play Jhin and it's going to rock it, it's going to be Hilly.
It's
right. Like that's the most Hillisang support pick that I've ever seen in my entire life. It's just the most aggro thing he could play. He's just going to stand there on tempo and just like wait for his full shot and then like hex flash out of a bush to hit it.
It's not that we're not high on G2, James. It's just that we're so used to being disappointed.
I get it.
And all they do is disappoint to start seasons. They really they need to get into like their mid-season form. So,
well, I think there is a chance that having no Jankos is like going to hurt them more than people assume. I will say that.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams made a lot of changes. There's a lot of moving parts. That's kind of why. Like, I'm not laying 200 with a team that's made changes, substantial changes. Period. Like that's it for me.
And getting plus 150 on the other side of it's not necessarily even that attractive as the other side.
Yeah,
so,
like I mean, I'm probably not taking this, like I said, but if I had to, it'd be Excel.
I open my stuff. I'm taking it. I'm gonna go bet it right now on Betway.
All right, so the next one we have is Koi at minus 410 against BDS 275. Moose, you love to take Gelati's phrase. You love to hold your nose. You love to bet it. Are you doing it here? I mean, look, at the end of the day, we can say that we don't like BDS. We think that BDS is bad. But, some things, we have a little into the BDS inner workings. I've heard about the team chemistry last year. We saw BDS really go from absolute shit in the ERL and the LFL to really kind of putting it together. And for the most part, it was these pieces, while the pieces that got demoted to BDS has looked terrible in the LFL. And I mean, X Matty, as much as some of the people in the Discord might like him, and I know it's a joke, the guy has looked terrible. I think he had 0 kills today. I mean, the team had 7. They were down 10-0, but Reeker pulled it out. But BDS at plus 275, it's still Crowny. Adam is still a top tier, well, serviceable,
Whoa,
serviceable
whoa,
top
whoa,
laner.
whoa.
Top tier what?
Serviceable. He
Serviceable,
can.
okay.
He has his schemes. Okay, it's within him to do it. It doesn't mean he's going to do it every time. We've seen them throw a lot of games in the past. Shio's a good jungler. He's not whoever they had before. I can't even think of it. It wasn't Shio last year, right? Who was the jungler on BDS last year?
That's a phenomenal question.
I'm just gonna look. We're all just looking. I'm not.
We're all looking. It's bothering me right now. I can't even. I don't remember who was it.
Syncroft.
Oh,
No,
okay,
it was-
yeah.
Yeah,
He's all right.
Um,
Yeah. You're right.
the line isn't big enough. I need plus 400 on a BDS match.
it's a best of one, dude. Like you're not gonna get 400.
by
Oh, on
what I
BDS,
said.
okay. On BDS, okay.
It's BDS.
No, I mean, but like, I feel like so many lines are just me too wide right now. I agree with that sentiment from earlier. Like, obviously, BDS is not good,
Yeah,
but like,
you just don't know. That's it. Like that. If
But, like,
you're gonna do
yeah.
anything, like treat this like maybe not like EU Masters, but like we used to do like just the blanket, like just bet every underdog in the first 2 weeks, and it was like kind of a meme. It actually does add up. Like not every time, but over the last 3 years, it has added up. So
yeah, no, that's what I've been doing with the ERL stuff. I'm just literally
it's-
blindly betting underdogs almost.
like
It's-
maybe
Yeah, I mean, it's
spread's the way to go, but it's only 7.5. That's not a great number either.
It
I'm
is
a
a great way to go in the ERLs, especially at the beginning of the season, because like we've talked about, they're just basing off of last year, and these teams are completely different.
Yeah.
If Game Ward could have just like kept that lead, not thrown that game, do all my other dogs hit, I would have like my plus 10,000 parlay going into this. They were the one piece that failed us, but nevertheless, so is everybody just avoiding BDS here at plus 275, or Nathan? You said you're going to take it.
I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna go. To
I think you bet it too. I also think you bet.
I think I take XL. I think I take
Close your
BDS.
eyes special.
James, maybe you could take BDS and put them with your G2 to give yourself a little bit better odds there.
I mean, I don't really need better odds on 193, but like BDS, we talked about Koi earlier and how them not having Odo, like that matters. That's huge because he's like the strongest weak side top laner in the region by a long shot, maybe in the world. So I don't know, maybe it completely screws the way that they play. I still think that their bot lane is stronger. I don't think that Malrang is really anything special. I think he's fine. I don't think Larson's anything special. I think he's fine.
Oof.
Jeez, wow. Nathan,
I don't think he's
Nathan,
no.
Nathan, go ahead, defend your boy.
Malrang was literally the best jungler in Europe last year.
Malrang? I thought okay. All right. Well,
I thought so.
I don't know enough about it to give you a good.
I meant your boy Larson. Your boy Larson.
Oh, I know. I'm very high on Koi this year, as you can tell. My best ball draft.
Yeah.
Just go look at the LEC ones. I was gifted 3 Koi in every single best ball. I have 4.
Yeah, of course you're going to take that. That's fine. We talked about Koi, like they're good, but
yeah, it's just
I
a
don't
matter
think
of relative price, right?
Here, let me rephrase what I just said about Larson. I think that he is fine, but I don't think that he is a leader of a team. Every time that it comes down to Larson carrying for their team, he just fails. Like he misses ults. He can't hold down a lane. Like he just fails when it matters. So if this becomes a situation where like now Koi is going to have to rely on Larson to be the guy to like be the glue of the team rather than Odo, I don't think he can do it. I'll rephrase it as that way.
I could
I
see
think
that.
I'm with that because I have no Koi in any of my best balls.
So what James is saying is that Larson doesn't fuck.
Yeah, he does it.
Not as much as
I mean, he does
think
against
that's
guys
fair
like Nuclear, but not against Caps and Humanoid and those type of guys. But
yeah,
maybe Odo was giving them the lubricant in those games, and nobody's there to hand it to him.
Now, dude,
Well,
Malrang and Trippy are the core of this team. Like they do everything. Like when they're firing on all cylinders, it almost doesn't matter what everybody else is doing.
Sure.
That's how they were like all last season, and they just had. It was weird. It was almost like I'm trying to think of like an NBA team. It's like you got like 2 elite facilitators, and then like just a bunch of guys that look a lot better. Like I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of like
90s Utah Jazz.
Yeah, like I'm trying to think of like an elite, like they have an elite distributor, and then just a bunch of guys that are going to put up 20, but you're almost never going to have a dude putting up 40. They just,
I like him a lot. I like him a lot.
yeah.
I
see what you're
also
saying,
think
though.
that first game where if we think that maybe their glue is a little bit lesser
Yeah. I
up
agree.
against a team that,
It's
frankly,
not the glue, James. It's the lubricant. They're not lubed up.
Right.
enough.
Okay. Yeah. Well, if Larson has no lube, then he obviously is not going to be able to get in because he's got a micro penis.
True.
So let's bet on the chafe and go with the BDS, right?
Yeah. Just bite down on the table and just go 275 on BDS and just hope that Larson can't carry because he can't.
Damn, this went down
All right.
real fast.
We started off really vanilla, and the Koi BDS game was where it all
Sent
turned.
us over the edge.
Let's see what we got here. We have Astralis versus Heretics. I mean, this feels like a letdown spot for Heretics. This feels like a spot where they should win. We expect them to win. But man, like I look at this Astralis lineup, and I just have this incredible bias that 113 is just a complete griefer. This dude literally dies more than contracts. This guy literally dies more than just like anybody I know I've ever seen, and he makes the most boneheaded plays at a lower level, and you can get away with that at times. But I don't think he's going to be able to get away with it here. I think this Heretic squad is, like we said, pretty volatile. But that being said, I don't like either of these numbers. I don't want to bet Astralis at plus 166, and I certainly don't want to bet Heretics at minus 220. I think this is more likely a game that I feel like possibly I want to bet the under, under the 24.5. I think this is going to be really boring. The teams are going to play tight, and I don't really necessarily want any part of it.
Astralis or pass for me.
I mean, if you think that 113 is such a griefer, why would you want the under? He's just going to make mistake after mistake. Think of it in terms of
he's not going to die 25 times.
Okay, no. But think of it in terms of in terms of DFS and like the idea of upside, right? Like if he's going to make these mistakes and we know that Heretics is volatile, like why not think that he's going to make mistakes and they're just going to capitalize and be volatile and take advantage of the volatility? To be clear, I don't like either side of this line. I think that Astralis has a chance to finish as the worst team in the league. So I guess I would lean towards Heretics here, but I would prefer to take the over if we think the Heretics is super volatile.
Well, I think they're volatile in the sense that we don't necessarily have the best gauge of how these players are going to play at this level. Like, I mean, Ruby's a great player, but he's been stuck in the ERLs for a while. Yeah. Jack Spector is coming in and making his kind of debut after, winning EU Masters in the summer and just having a great run and overall looking pretty good. We've seen Mersa play well and play bad, have a really high ceiling and a low floor. So I think that they're volatile, from a season-long standpoint. I don't necessarily think in a singular game they're as volatile as they are in their range of outcomes for the season.
Okay, I can hear that. That's fine.
So, Nathan.
I already bet Astralis, but I only did because I was betting the dogs just for fun.
Yeah. Oh, you just betting all the dogs.
I did just bet. I just literally clicked every single dog on Betway and just bet them. Do I like Astralis more than Heretics? Probably not. But do I like them at plus 166? Also, that's debatable. But I still did it.
You got two brand new lineups. Like that's all it is for me. It's like
it's 50-50. They're gonna win or they're not gonna win.
Look what Invictus did. Nobody thought Invictus was gonna do anything, and they're 4-0. Like you never know.
Well, you should have known them.
I mean, I bet them both times. What do you want?
I'm just saying, there's people on this call right now that thought Nene would be starting in the top lane after Duff got back, but we can see how atrocious that was.
Honestly.
You can't play
little sidebar. That guy, what's his name? The top laner.
You should know me.
You should know me, maybe.
That guy.
He does. He
now
does. And look
about that, man. He's got it. He's got it.
He does, but we'll see when he plays some better top laners.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
When he plays Ben, who's just playing absolutely out of his mind right now. I don't know. I mean, look, I guess he did play Breathe, right?
Yeah.
We all know how I feel about him. Moose, do you have anything to add to this?
No, I feel like everything's been kind of said here. I don't like either line straight up, so I'll probably just look at the overs or the Yeah, probably just the overs is where I would look here, but I'm not excited about plus 166.
All right, Moose. Well, what about this line here? These are two teams that I'm not super crazy about. I think Mad Lions could be good, but SK, just like when we look at this roster, it kind of pains me because I do really like the top end jungle. I think Marcoon's good, but I don't think he's like a top tier jungler. I think he's kind of like that A tier or B if you don't think a lot of these guys are S. I thought Irrelevant started really slow last year, but really kind of kicked it up. And he was one of the best fantasy scoring top laners. And part of that was just the way that Misfits played. But Moose, when we look at this game, what's your feeling? SK's plus 180. I like that line quite a bit. That's a dog that I think might have some bite, might have some bark.
Yeah, I think I'll go with the SK plus 180 here. Like Gelati said, we can't lay minus 200 on anybody to start unless it's James G2. So
They're
we're just,
193.
I like them.
193.
Yeah, 193. You know, we got the cutoff, but yeah, no, I
Bro,
like
get it now. It'd be 200 by
If-
the start of the.
Bro, it fucking will
Totally.
be too. You know it will be. It's gonna hit 205.
It might. We'll take a look at that.
I'm actually,
Nathan, I know you're betting SK.
Yeah, not much to say besides the betting the dog there.
You've put your cards on the table. We kind of know.
Yeah, I've got no realistic opinions on how these games are going to go. Like a lot of keep saying, it's week one. I've got zero idea how these teams are going to play it out. Matt has
I
a
don't
good
know if
roster.
that's true. We know it's the LEC. They barely made any changes to a lot of these rosters. I don't know if it's so true. Like in another league where there were a lot of changes, I think that's a fair statement. But like the LEC, we said it at the beginning of this. The LEC is just the LEC is the LEC. We know who the strong teams are.
who plays
Look-
Jin on these teams?
Look, I'm going to say this though. This is a game that I'm going to target probably for better or for worse for DFS. I don't know. It just feels like this game's disgusting. Nobody's going to want to be here. I'm pairing these with Fnatic. I'm pairing them with G2. I'm pairing G2 with Fnatic because that's always going to win. But these are the two teams that I think I'm going to go ahead and get on board with. Let's take a look at the last. Is this the last game?
Yeah,
Fnatic and
real
Vitality.
Real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
For fantasy purposes, you have Hillsang and Carzzy on the same team. That's all.
Yeah.
Anything could happen. All right. We could have an 0-12 bot lane 10 minutes into the game, okay? Or they could be 20-2. Who knows? So
10-10.
yeah.
That's why this is a good game to target on both
That's
sides.
about that.
Now this game, I think there's going to be a lot of excitement. I like Vitality here. I like Vitality's roster. I think that they've kind of humbled themselves. We've got Bo. This isn't a fixable match for him. This is this is a spot. This is the ascension.
Not a
That
fixable
was
match.
slick. That was
Don't
really
doubt him. He's going to put a fix in. Don't worry.
Hey, listen,
I
he,
think-
he served his time, okay? He served his punishment.
Not a fixable match, bro.
So look, I think this is a Vitality spot here. Like I love it. I bet it. I mean, they're the dog, Nathan. So I know you bet it. Bo is just going to just clean up.
I'm
Like
pretty
maybe some
low
Braves.
on Fnatic in general. I think, like compared to like last year, but like so I was gonna bet Vitality anyway. But yeah, obviously they're the dog, so I'm betting them.
Nathan, you're over here cheating people, dude.
Yeah, I agreed to bet Heretics over 3.5, and then Kev edited the chat to make it say 6.5. And then he goes booked 1K. Thanks.
Wow.
All right. So let me ask you this, James. In this league, in this match, or any match, do you think we will see a Samira mid?
Oh man, I wish Samira Mid's so fun. We're not gonna see it, but it works. It's a lot of fun.
I was gonna say, if you're booking that, I'll take the no.
No, Samira.
I mean, we're gonna have to deep dive into some small countries in Europe, and we might be able to find it.
Yeah. No, it's gonna happen in CBLOL, right? Like the most Fiesta league on the planet. We're gonna see some Samira jungle.
Actually, when does CBLL start? In a few
Yeah,
days.
no, we gotta look that up because that league is the nuts. Like if you miss a CBLOL slate, you hate this game. They're the most
No.
fun games to watch.
Oh, it starts this
That's
weekend.
not
too.
true.
Oh,
It's
I
not
will have-
true.
I will have
That is
this.
absolutely not true. The most fun is the VCS. Like the VCS is what everybody thinks the CBLOL is. Like people don't realize because you're watching the LPL, you can't stay up, you don't want to watch this. But we were forced into the VCS last winter as they had a winter split, and we learned that this league was just absolutely nuts. I agree with you. I was there. There's no better foreign language cast than the CBLOL. I will tell you, I don't like listening to Super League. I don't like listening to the LFL in French. Certainly don't like listening to the Polish league. That it's just rough. But man, Portuguese, it's a brilliant way to describe League of Legends.
I can get Margaret to watch CBLOL, and she refuses to watch any other league stuff, but she thinks it's the most exciting thing that I watch.
Show her some VCS.
Show her the VCS season kickoff game.
Okay.
I think it was the second game. They were at 1 kill a minute for like the first 20 minutes.
No, it might have been 2. I think it was 30 minutes in, and it was like 40 to like 36 or something like that on the kills. They ended with like 60 kills each.
You had over unders or higher lowers posted.
I know that was a brutal game to have higher lowers on.
And it's crazy too because you put the over under at 120 and they finished with 60 kills each. So that's a good medium.
Exactsies. Look at that.
All right. So anybody have anything to say about this? Before we jump into day 2, we'll probably go through it a little bit quicker and get into the best ball drafts. But any closing remarks about Vitality and Fnatic? I think everybody's excited to see Bo. It'll be nostalgic to see Reckless, but are there other components of this that I'm missing?
Like I said at the beginning of this, I think Vitality's bot lane might be an issue to start the season. So that's the only thing that I would lean on to Fnatic here, but it's basically a coin flip if you don't care about that.
I don't know. I like Neon. I certainly think Kaiser's very good. I think Neon kind of was certainly weak. He tends to die in lane, but he's kind of like that Danny type of guy that dies, in the first 3 minutes, and then sometimes has a good game.
Yeah, I think that's a huge
issue.
A
lot like Crownie too, So, all right, let's hop into this here. SK versus BDS. 2 teams we're pretty low on. We've got a plus 105, minus 136. Any initial leans, or are we waiting to kind of have this line kind of change as it goes on, Gelati?
That one. Pasadena, Trina. No, thank you. We'll just wait and see. Lean BDS is probably, if they end up losing, SK wins, you get a fat number, just take, if either of these teams gets a plus 120, just take it. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, I agree with that. 100%.
All right, Moose. Haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah, I think I'm with Gelati. I kind of want the number to move, but I'm definitely leaning SK.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. We've got Astralis and Mad Lions. Not nearly as interesting of a slate of games on this day, but maybe some more closely contested games. Astralis getting a little bit better number than they are on the first day, but maybe against a team that, while they kept some of their components and maybe their glue or their lube, depending on what we're talking about, is anybody outside of Nathan? We know he's betting this. Anybody taking Astralis in this situation? We do got Jaeyoung Hoon. Like, the dude is absolutely goated last year. If he gets a pike, he's going to hit his higher lower for sure. But this is a very volatile bot lane here. You got Cove, Jaeyoung Hoon, you got Hillisang and Karze. Whew.
Yeah, that's a party, man. I think that the main concept here that everybody is just going to be like, I want to wait for the better line on the first day. Because if Astralis just gets absolutely shit canned day one, like this line is moving up to plus 195, plus 200, something like that. So, but I think I agree for the most part. This is probably the nuts for DFS right off the bat. I mean, you always attack Mad Lions anyway, and now they have Karze and Hilliant. So like, this is just take the over. Just hit the over right now because it's going to hit the over.
I like that. I think people will definitely be on this game
This is the
after Astralis is in the optimal and they win on day one, right?
Honestly, I feel like I'm higher on Australis than I should be. Someone give me an over/under line that you think is fair and wants to book action on. Because I'm
What, on a win total?
on a win total for Australis. Yeah, I would
For
love
just-
to hear
for
your
just
thoughts there.
winter?
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I was gonna say anybody else want to come, and I'll give you in 1
Hold
second.
on, let me look at this.
It's probably like 3.5.
okay.
Well, while they look up that number, and so they put that in, we'll go ahead and we'll skip ahead. We'll look at Vitality and Heretics. And this is a game where we actually get Heretics as dogs, plus 180 against a Vitality team. Like, look, this is going to change pretty significantly. This feels like this is a line that, especially if you feel like Vitality is going to win against Fnatic, that you're going to get on the side of Heretics right now if you feel like they have a shot, that they're going to win, just a little under 1 out of 3 times. But I don't think that this line changes all that much if Vitality loses and Heretics wins. I don't think people are going to rush to bet on Heretics unless they look absolutely dominant. Moose, I think it's getting redundant. So getting into the best ball, but do you feel like you have a strong lean on either of these teams on this side?
Yeah, I think the Heretics line is really good. I think then the reason why Vitality is minus 240 there is just name value.
Okay.
I'm on Heretics too. Are you doing flat numbers, Nate? You're doing all halves, you ain't doing any pushes.
I don't care. Whatever you want.
Do like a flat 3, 2.9 ish.
Okay. Do you want to have some fun
Maybe
on that?
hit me up on the side, maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
I'll probably take under if it's 3.5.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Do we have anything else in this game? Anything on the Vitality Heretics, James?
I'll take Heretics on this one. Plus 180 is a pretty good number, I think.
Same.
Man, it is scary when we all agree. Let's move into the last 2 games here. We've got Excel and Koi. Excel and Koi. We've got Koi at minus 136. Nathan, is this possibly the only dog spot that you didn't bet?
I have not looked at past day one, but I think I would bet Excel here. Not because they're a dog, but I do kind of like Excel. So
if you're going to bet Excel, I think my thought would be that if that's your lean right now, would you probably just not want to wait until what Koi should win by all bookmaking lines and percentages, and Excel should lose, right? And if Koi wins and Excel loses, this line should kind of change drastically. I don't expect this on Sunday to look anything like this.
Odo revenge narrative, man.
lock it in.
Anybody got birthdays this weekend? We got to look that up too.
Birthday narrative.
Birthday.
We'll have to go through player by player.
Yeah. Damn.
Someone just needs to get a data. Someone hit up Tim. Let's get a database of
Birthday database. It's great Leaguepedia for all the birthdays now.
They have it. Okay, look, it's 118.
I know.
It was Odo's birthday yesterday.
I was gonna say you could actually do that. You could
You could, yeah. I mean, it's what
You
it's
could just
definitely in
scrape
the
and
age.
pull
Look, Odo's birthday is yesterday. Yesterday was
Wait,
Odo's
what?
birthday.
Get out. All right, double. All right, we got the birthday and revenge narrative.
Wait, but let's look at Koi. We got a lot of April. We got a 2-9 coming up with Malarang. Comp. No. 10. No.
I'm gonna have Hatter put together the
birthday tier list.
I'm gonna have Hatter put together a birthday based model for machine learning.
You gotta set up a what's it called? You have to set up like a Discord bot to alert people on it's this player's birthday today.
You know how stoked
Guys,
people would be if I had that.
You know what I'm looking at here is that there's not a lot of January birthdays. Like if you're born in January, you're just possibly not a good league player. Look, Tarzi, 131, perfect example.
Wow. We gotta power rank the quality of players by month.
It looks like it's April. April's your spot.
Month.
We'll look at the LCS. We'll see if that changes. Maybe it's a regional thing. I'm glad we were able to find some additional content that I look. I don't care if people don't think it's interesting. I kind of do. I think this birthday narrative is something that's important. And here's the last game. G2 Fnatic. Wow. How did they schedule that in the first week? Wow. I am amazed here. I think I'm taking G2 at -165 all day. I don't care. I'll bet it early because I don't want to, feel bad if Fnatic beats my boys Vitality, G2 loses to my boys Excel, and I get a little gun shy here.
Yeah,
Probably
I don't like Fnatic, so I would
probably
bet
on the
G2
other
at the
side. I'll
number.
probably take some Fnatic, but we'll see.
G2 letdown spot.
Classic.
Anything for Monday?
Classic G2 letdown weekend.
Because we've got what's it called? We got the Super Week Saturday, Sunday, Monday schedule now. I don't know if you guys want.
I don't think they've posted anything yet for Monday.
Yeah, and I know like Nitro and a couple. I think Penny's got those games. But
so we've got a question from the chat here. We've got G2 and Koi are both plus 225 to win the split, but G2 is -193 versus Excel, and Koi is -136. Does that confuse anyone?
And Koi's the second day, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you can't. I don't think you can't equate future odds to exact win percentages for every single game, Kev.
Yeah,
It's-
because you have
it's
strength of
name
schedule
value.
built into that.
It's just
Yeah.
name value.
like you can sometimes it's a matter of like one market's taking money and the other one hasn't. And then other times it's just different power ratings by the book too. Like because they are running on just like a power number ELO system most of the time. So it depends on where you're looking. Like I don't know I'm assuming Bovada has them both co-favorites, right? Let me just read it.
Same as Pinnacle. Pinnacle has 229 for both of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
probably just more based on strength of schedule. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if you're
G2
looking
being
at
a
it
better
as
team,
hard opportunity too, but like it's not. It's it's like what? How many months down the line? Probably.
right?
Actually, it's only a couple weeks. Maybe futures are more interesting now. It's a good question.
Let's hop into the best league in the entire world. I mean, we talked about the VCS, we talked about the CBLOL. We've got a league that switched to Thursdays and Fridays, so you don't have to feel all sluggish on Saturday and Sunday. I will tell you, one of the hardest days to do the Shark Cove last year was on Saturdays. It was like the LCS slates just sucked the life out of me. Not always. But where do we rank these teams? Do we have any S-tier teams? Moose, I'm gonna let you take a shot here because I know you're an avid LCS watcher.
I'm a huge LCS watcher, which is why I ask you roster positions in week 4. That was when the contest got worth actually playing. Obviously, I think all the eyes are on Liquid. I think we're very interested to see what Liquid's going to do. I don't see any sort of American players on their team, which means they will be number 1.
There's quite a few teams like that, though.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, in fact, you just look at this. There's not a lot of American players. I think Stixay, Double Lift. There's a couple. Yeah. Well, let's look some birthdays.
Revenge.
Oh yeah, the top laner in the league, Revenge.
We're building around him. I don't know if you know, but we're building around Revenge.
Yo, it turns out they're still building around him.
They're gonna be building around him for some time.
God, that's gonna be such a strong meme forever.
Oh, Labber 1-4. There we go. We've got a
1-4 passed. 1-4 was at the start of the year.
Thank
I
you.
was
Liz,
listening,
for playing the
I mean, it's the
calendar.
4th day in, yeah.
I was listening to LS watch LCK yesterday, which by the way is like the cringiest thing to watch. But there was nothing else on, and I was getting ready for bed. And Fudge was talking a little bit about who he thought was good, and he said that FlyQuest is scrimming really well. And,
Shocked. Total
he
shock.
said that, and he said that he felt that obviously like that C9 was gonna repeat.
What's his name? I saw something about FlyQuest today. Ayla's not going to be there for the first week or two, or
Yeah,
something
Winston's
like that.
playing the first week.
Okay, Winsom's pretty good though. So
He's not. Yeah, he's not.
I mean, they got Impact, Vikla, and Prince. Like,
FlyQuest is the team. Like,
I'm interested in TL. I want to see what TL does.
Maybe
let me ask
it's
you
just
this.
me, man. But like,
I
I
look at
don't know. They
everyone-
gotta show it first, man. Like, I don't know. I like
I
this
look at
roster.
every one of these teams, and I'm like,
What
okay. FlyQuest, I think, is the fair like favorite here, I guess. But we know how Gelati feels about super teams. But like they're like very clearly the most talented team in the league. 100 Thieves getting double lift.
who he's
Tom
Korean?
is that double lift MVP this year. He's coming out. He's gonna average 10 kills.
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah. Well, I mean, hoodie league, best league. So I don't know. I'm not impressed by like any of these teams.
I think top 3 for me would be FlyQuest, Liquid, and EG. But we'll see.
Yeah.
EG looks good.
Yeah.
And,
So my question is, like, some of these teams though, like when you look at the positions, like, look, you look at the top lane in LEC and it's absolutely stacked, and like then you end up here and you've got dudes like Licorice still with the job, you still got Revenge and building around him, you've got Solo starting off the season. Isn't he supposed to like step in the middle of a split? I mean, you do have some strong spots here. You've got Summit and Someday and Impact, and Dokla was really hot or cold. Like this, the top lane here is just absolute trash. And then you go to the jungler position, and like the cream of the crop here, or some of the guys that you look to as some of the best junglers in this league are like Closer and Blabber. And I mean, I guess that's not even true, because now you've got Piosik and River and Spica and Inspired. Like, I guess like jungle is stacked here, but I don't know, man. You go down and you go to ADC and you see what a team like FlyQuest did with going and getting Prince. And I know that some of us have a lot of love for Prince. Some of us think that he was funneled with a lot of resources, and that may be true. Like, but there is no league that funnels resources more than LCS. They don't even do kills. They just want to get, like creeps. We talk about it with like LCK, but they don't even farm at the same level. It takes even longer and there's less action. But then you look at teams like 100 Thieves that went and got double lift. Like, they thought that was a great idea. You got Dignitas who goes and gets Armit, Jensen, and Santorin, and then you throw Spawn in there. And then you've got like the one that just boggles my mind the most is you put this roster together for Golden Guardians. You have River, you have Gory, who's, look, he might not be a top tier LPL, LCK level guy, but like he's going to be good in the LCS, right? You got Huhi, who's good enough support for this league. But then you got Stixay and Licorice, man. Like, what are you doing? Why is this dude still
They're
here?
broke, dude. They don't have the same money. That's it.
Salary caps, yeah.
That's
there's
all it
salary.
is.
Bro, but if you go to this, look, like Unforgiven's out there, like Unforgiven's on 100 Thieves, like second team. You've got Rayoma, Tomo. I mean, like, teams are still trotting out in the Challenger League. You got Wild Turtle and Arrow with jobs. Wild Turtle and Sven Skaren on the TSM. Like, what are these teams doing, man? Like, what's going on?
Drastic payroll differences.
My biggest thing, when you look at these rosters, I just cannot fathom how it ends up being the same kill counts as LCK or less. Because these teams should just be Fiesta. Like, nobody's good. Nobody's good. There's like 4 good players in this league. It's so bad. And they constantly make mistakes. Like, Danny was like the preeminent god of the split for a while there, and he might have had the worst lane phase of any ADC in the entire league. Like,
I mean, but like in Danny's case, just like a lot of ADCs, especially in spring last year, Jinx made a lot of them look good.
Danny's brought Purdy.
No, Jinx and Zeri absolutely carried through the league. I get that.
Look, and talking about that, you brought it up. What the hell do they need to do to Zeri to just make this champion not playable and not like they have gutted, like the Zeri that we see right now is nothing like the Zeri that came out and released. Like, it's just absolute shell of itself. Yet it's almost like 100% pick ban, right? Like,
yeah, and still wait, because with the changes they made in 13-2,
get worse.
It gets worse because she's going to build Shieldbone Bloodthirster.
Yep.
And Bloodthirster now gives a massive shield too. Like, it's going to get worse. It's going to get way worse. So you look at this league, the rosters are so bad. And really, I have been on my soapbox about the LCS for now like 3 years. of like somebody's just got to come in and just entirely reboot the production and reboot the marketing and make it fun to watch. And the way to make it fun to watch is not importing all of these shit can players from other leagues that are like, it can't be the MLS of League of Legends, right? Because like all of the Champions League guys come over to the MLS and just retire. We can't have that in the
That's
LCS.
what LCS is. That's
Yeah, but look, to be fair, like
We're not
a lot of the
bringing in
guys.
all shooters. Some of them are.
Yeah, I mean, you've got P06, Summit, Prince,
You've got like 4
River.
good players.
We're bringing over better players now. Like, Maple is probably a guy that's towards the end of his rope here, but like a lot of the guys that they brought over, at least in this particular instance, are up and comers. But that being said, you still got 6A, Licorice, Double Lift, Bjergsen.
How do you bring back Double Lift?
I think
He's
it's
not even a
because
good streamer anymore. Like, how do you bring back Double Lift?
so I don't think
I agree,
100 Thieves
yeah.
care about winning. I think they just want to full send it with brand recognition.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
They're like-
that's
They
made
signed
up.
Bjergsen Double Lift. They surround them with they get closer on contract, and then that's it. They're just like, cool, this is it. Like, we're not winning this season. We're just gonna full send it. I actually respect it. I'm glad it's gonna be.
I don't think that that's what they're thinking, man. I think that they actually believe that this roster is good enough to go through. Like, look, Closer's good for this league. Tenacity is this huge prodigy. Double Lift, as I've been told, is the greatest LCS player of all time.
Bjergsen is
But I don't think that's going to be this.
I mean, dude, what
Muzio's
if
like
he just
28
needed
years
some
old.
time off? I'm just putting that out there. Like, it's the non-zero chance that he did just need some time
No,
off. And he's
he
an
was-
absolute monster again.
What Double Lift literally watches streams and he watches people play. When he was watching Worlds, he was like, "Damn, these guys are way better than me."
Yeah,
He would literally just stand there and admit, like he was like, "Damn, these guys are crazy good."
It makes no sense, man. It's such a joke of a league.
Maybe he's
And
playing the
Hatter's-
long
Hatter's
jumpers.
gonna
I'm
yell
glad.
at me.
I get everyone
I'm
talking about
glad
that.
it's like this because it creates really surprising like upsets, and it makes the slates interesting. So I'm glad it's like this. But yeah, I mean it is a joke of a league.
Yeah,
nobody
I'm
cares.
not. By the way, I'm not disagreeing with your premise on this one, James. I just think like I don't think it's fair to call like all of the imports shitters because a lot of these guys are.
And you're
shit.
right. It's not. I like Piasek is incredible and
Summit's.
like,
I think Summit he's one of the best top laners in the last 3
Yeah.
Yeah,
years.
but Piosik missed so
Anywhere.
many smites. DRX didn't bring him back.
Yeah, I was gonna say Piosik had an insane run. Like, all right, so Piosik had an
He
insane
missed
run
so
for
many
Worlds.
smites, bro.
Was literally gonna get fired.
He
in
just
summer
ran
season.
well. Yeah, he literally just ran well.
But
Like,
you look back 2 years ago. I mean, he was one of these up and comers too. Berserker was probably going to be starting for T1. If
but it's like you look at
I get what
Team
you're
Liquid,
saying though.
they pick up Piasek and they have Core JJ, which like you hear those names and you're like sick, man. And then it's like look at their mid and bot. Like
it's-
I don't know. Look, hey,
No,
look.
it's a money-
As,
it's a money
as
issue.
somebody that watches LCS Academy probably more than like anybody else here, because I enjoy it quite a bit. It's huge edge. Harry and Yeon are really good.
Sounds good.
they are.
I actually like this Team Liquid. It's Team Liquid or FlyQuest for me. I think that there's an outside chance that C9 can win. I think Diplex is very, very good, and like you have the continuity. But it's a 3-team league. If Stix-A wasn't there and you had a competent, I mean, shit.
I would like
if
Golden
you
Guardians if it wasn't 6A too. I'm with you, and I'm by the way, I'm the resident. Like, okay, he's just a serviceable veteran. Like, I go to bat for Stix-A, right? And even I'll say this, like, if it's going to be an 80, here's the thing though, right? If you have an 80 carry centric meta, which is it might not be like legit like last year where it was just like protect the hyper carry every single game, but like when you have a situation that's different because that actually will hide weaker 80 carry players. Because like everyone's doing everything in their power to make it easy for them, right? That's the whole game plan. If it becomes about like chops, like 2v2 chops, or there's these execution based, people are playing, more execution stuff, Samira, Lucian, stuff like that, right? If it becomes that, I'm going with the hands. Like, give me Berserker, give me Prince, etc. Like,
Give you double lift
down the line.
Right.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe the dude gets his hands back. I don't know.
Maybe maybe FBI stops, like he gets to a new team, he gets to EG, and they're like, why do you constantly spam this?
Too.
Like, why are you spamming this? Why do you need to like spam chat on and off like constantly? Like, can you stop doing this, dude?
It's just not good. If Tristana's not good, then Stig is useless. He only plays Tristana.
And I don't think it's fair to say that it's 3-team league. Like Evil Geniuses is up there. It's FlyQuest, Team Liquid, Cloud9, and Evil Geniuses.
Gelati,
that's the other thing is like we have all these different we have all these moving parts for all these different teams. Like who has the most continuity here? Cloud9,
CLG, same roster.
CLG's got the same roster. Like maybe they're the ones that
Yeah,
are
it's not
okay
a
to
good
start.
roster.
Oh, stop it! That's an academy team.
It's not a good roster. They got
After summer,
continuity.
everyone was saying CLG were
team.
a god, right? Like,
well, then again, the academy.
They need to
team's
bring
probably
back
better.
RJS. I'm gonna die on that hill.
Dude, Gelati, I just want you to picture this epic moment, right? It's an Elder Dragon moment, a 5v5 situation, and the winning team is making their way around the dragon. But wait, out of the sky a teleport comes and it's fucking Licorice. Why is he here? Like, how is this team gonna be good?
Right.
Bro, who's on their academy?
River and Gory are going to carry them.
What does he have on the LCS to get a job, bro?
Oh man, I'm looking at their challenger team, and it's
what he has?
It's probably the worst challenger team.
You know what he has to have a job? Sincerely, you want to know what he has to have a job?
A low salary.
A low salary, and he's not an import.
Just
Yeah,
happy.
I'm serious. I'm not going to turn this into a whole.
I think-
my
I think you're right.
soapbox about
I
unlocking the
think it's
regions.
him
I'm not going to all this,
Yeah,
but like
I think it's
that's
him
it.
for it.
It's literally it. That's why half these guys are here. Like
It's just
blows my mind.
the fact is that there's not enough good American players. I think you pretty much put it together.
like there are good young players and challengers, but if the teams and coaches
just get
would
Josh
rather
to play
have
Lilia,
someone that can adjust quickly, and they want someone that can adjust quickly to new players in a new environment, and that's not like they don't want to tackle having 3 imports, having a bunch of new things, having a new coaching staff, and having to teach this kid in his first split. A lot of coaching staffs just don't want to tackle that. Like it's
How
the one
many-
thing at the bottom of the totem pole that they're willing
So-
to throw out. Other
There's
teams
no good,
will.
like challenger top laners in America. Like there's no good like
Ribbon-
challenger player top laners.
No, you've got Sniper. Sniper's a Sniper on
Yeah.
100T challengers. Tenacity. Both of those guys are fantastic.
Like there has to
Bradley,
be people in the ladder that are better than Licorice.
Yeah, like I'm not
They're
disagreeing.
locked up. They're under
I'm
contract.
just saying, like this
Like
is
what
how
did they
a lot of
offer
these coaching
Licorice
staffs think.
to play this position? A place to sleep? Like what did they give him? Like
Hair products.
how did like they're like look bro we spent a lot of money, like we don't got a lot to. He's like, I'm in. He's like, we haven't made you the I'm in. Fuck it.
So guys, I want to bring this up because we talked about the ADC position, and Gelati, you said give me the hands, and I don't know if you saw this. I dropped it into the Discord, but our boy Viper has switched to the bot lane. He's on 100T challengers.
That's nuts. I can no longer make the solo or Viper jokes.
Oh
That's
my
because
god.
you can play Riven bot. You can play Riven bot. That's why you can play Riven Jin
Riven
bot.
Senna, Riven Jin.
Riven Jin. Yeah, that's.
I mean,
why.
the jump from Riven to Yasuo isn't that bad, right? Like,
What
you can play
about
it.
Fake God? Look, Fake God's there. Like Fake God's a startable.
Oh my god, come on, dude.
I would
Thank
take
God.
Licorice over Fake God.
Yeah, I mean, I would take.
What about young Philip?
I don't know. There's some talent here. I don't know, Nathan. I don't know if you're going to go so crazy as entering some of these teams, and we can use some higher lowers, some rivals. But I am excited to play some Eminence.
I'm gonna probably put up the NA Challengers League for sure.
Nice. Eminence.
Will I
is,
include the
God,
provisional
dude,
team
that
game?
Basil guy
games?
has been-
Maybe.
yeah, I mean these are good teams. But like, look, Eminence is the dude.
Lost is the 80 carry for United Challenge.
Bro, look, Eminence is the dude from JDXL last year. This team went like they were a complete wagon. They would cover plus 10.5 spreads or minus 10.5 spreads every single game. They'd win by 15, 16 every single game. And like they lost. Eminence blew up on the team, left the team, went back to Korea, said, fuck you guys, was super toxic, or you got kicked off the team. And then the team went on to be just complete shit. He was the complete carry of that team. This dude is going to either tear. I don't know how he's going to play with Fake God. Like I don't know how that's going to happen. But I'm excited for it. Let's hop into what the people are here for. Let's talk in.
Wait,
Let's talk
I
about
wanted to ask
thoughts
real
from
quick.
James and Gelati on these. I've heard Moose's thoughts. I don't need those.
Yeah.
anymore.
I wanted to ask. So like, we don't get James a lot on the pod. So like, James, is there anything you want to talk about before we go into like this best ball stuff?
No, I mean, I'm just happy to be along for the ride. You know, I think that talking
then
through.
you get to review my shitty decisions over here.
Yeah. No, I'm most excited to talk shit about your teams. But for the most part, I'm happy to have been able to talk about how bad the LCS is and how the LEC is just going to be the same LEC we've had for 4 years. So
I've never heard that opinion from you before, so it was nice to get a new perspective.
All right. Well, these teams are not nearly as complicated as the LPL, the LCK, and because of the changes to the LEC, they absolutely screwed with any combination leagues that we have. But we got the LCS 25 here. We get some interesting things. The 25 leagues are either incredibly sharp or just incredible shit shows that are something else, completely different world. This one right here kind of went in the main order. I mean, you got Prince up there, Vikla early. Take a look at these teams. If you need me to make it bigger, pick your 1, 2, and 3 or something like that. Gelati, what do you like? I can go down here too. This might make it a little bit easier. Who do you think won this draft?
Nobody.
nobody.
Oh my dear, with the 4 Dignitas players.
What the? Nobody?
He's digging. That's why he's digneating.
Stand aside.
That's where I'm going. I like stand aside.
Stand aside in no particular order. Stand aside Law and Twins, even though he's got 2 CLG players.
I think Prodigy's in that conversation too. He's got 2 Fly. He's got the CLGB. He's got 2
you
Fly
want-
and EG.
You want 3 or 4 players on a team that doesn't suck.
Yeah, I think it has to be stand aside here.
Well, I think stand aside 1. It's
I think
stand aside 1.
Yeah, it's either stand aside or Prodigy, I think. Just because being able to have both Vikla and Someday there, I think is nice.
So let me ask you this, and people love when we shit on their teams. I'm amazed. This is why we're doing it.
Ayla's
because-
mislabeled, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I just have to check that. Can we change
Yeah,
that?
all
I
good.
can change it. Or
It's all good. Ayla's on FlyQuest, so.
Yeah.
I like the upside for that team because if CLG is just 500, that team's going to be a wagon.
Who had the worst draft? Was it
NOD.
OMD or was it Wand?
It was Ben OD.
oh God.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel it's
What
Dan-
did Juan do?
Dan
Bro?
is-
Juan just sent it. He just full sent that shit.
No, Wand always does that.
Yeah,
Wand
so
always does. But
that's Dan. Dan is he has his views and he just goes for him. So maybe he thinks that TSM is just like the nuts.
OMD and Dan. Oh, it was Juan Dan.
Juan
yeah,
is
Wand is Dan.
it's- yeah, Dan.
OMD is in on Dignitas. So
Big Dignitas believer. How did he?
I mean,
Four
Jensen-
Dignitas, 1 Golden Guardians. The nuts.
All right. Well, like I
yeah,
said,
that's the worst team. Why would this? This is not a debate. It's the worst team.
It's not even close,
It's
dude.
one player on a winning team.
Do you think we're gonna see any other teams that have 3 Dignitas players on them? This is a 6-man. This is a 6-man round. Look, I stacked
This is a
up in an
6-person
LPL LCK league with 12 teams. I stacked 3 up, and that was a fucking mistake. Let me tell you.
I'm sorry, dude. This one's that's
Nah.
the loser.
3
Too early to
baby.
say it's a mistake, Emmerich. You got time. Up's going 17-2.
Oh, all right. Here we go. We've got a highlighted one here. Somebody's in the
Oh,
spreadsheet.
man,
I love the. If you look at the top, it says last edit was made seconds ago by Kevin.
We have
Why did
all right.
Kevin,
all the heavy
Kevin
hitters in
highlighted
this
his
one.
team?
James, I'm going to let you go ahead and you pick the winner. Obviously,
It's not Kev.
league co-chairman Big Kev is heavily lobbying. You can go to RPS and get 15% off if you use code Big Kev. But Kev, I'm sure that there's a code that you could use at Paydirt if you wanted to go there.
All
I
right.
should make
What's the
a
worst team in this league. This one's it's a tough one.
Yeah, this one's harder than the last one.
For the worst
It's
team,
not. It's not.
Oh,
It's not at
no,
all.
for the worst.
Alan went
No,
for
the-
Dick
this is
Jones.
like
the-
What is going on?
No. For the worst, it's Alan without like it's not
Alan's team is worse than OMD's team. At the end of this,
Am I missing something here?
I'm
No,
sorry,
no.
guys.
I thought he was
I'm
asking.
sorry.
I thought he was asking who the best team is, not the worst team.
no,
So, like,
no. We are asking.
All right. You know what I did? We did ask. So what's the best team, James? Go ahead.
I mean,
Give us the
I
number
like
one team.
Harvey. I think Harvey's team is good here. Hardy or Duke. Kev is fine because he has 2 fly, but
I didn't even know I was in this league.
He
I
has to
totally
fly.
forgot
I
I was
agree.
in
His
this.
team has to fly to do anything.
I'm going to tell you what, I like Nathan's team to get to the playoffs. I think the way that team is constructed is he'll get to the playoffs. He might edge out a win in the first round.
I
but
just
he's not going to win. He's not going to win. I don't
refuse
expect to
his
send
team
him
is
money.
good because he has double lift, and
That's my top player. I picked him first.
I fucking believe.
I don't even remember drafting this team.
I can tell you my top 3 for this is I actually like your team a lot, Emmerich.
Thank you.
I like.
I won a lot of these drafts.
In order. I think Emmerich, Nathan, and Duke. I like Duke's team a lot too.
Yeah, Duke's team is really nice.
I like River as the one of, because I think if anyone's gonna do shit on that team, it's him.
Let's go.
I mean, here's
Corey's also.
but here's the thing. If you like Duke's team, you have to like my team, I think, better, right? Like you have 2 C9, he's got 200 T, I have 100 T, but I got 2 TL, he's got 1 TL. I just have more of the stuff that's like what makes his team good makes my team better.
Yep. Counterpoint. I have double lift.
Yeah, but Emmerich has Bjergsen.
I do have Bjergsen.
Nathan, I have to ask you. We have to do this like draft style. Like what was going through your head when you made the selection in the first round with
He went with Vikla. We actually
I tried to
Gelati, so Gelati, you missed this. Like there's a draft. We're gonna go point it out. It was a big point of contention. I don't remember which one.
Oh no, we should go over some of the East leagues because we should go look at just Kevin's.
All right. We'll get Gelati and James's take. We'll run through those pretty quickly. There are some questionable decisions by Kev. So you know, I think you're gonna have a fun time tearing them apart. We all did. I mean, yes. So let's go into the 100, the big baller league here.
On this one too.
Side note, do you remember when we had $500 leagues? Those were the days.
I tried to get one started this year, but we didn't get enough interest, I guess.
So we got Wandalik here. I just want to point out full stack CLG with tactical.
Wandalik. Would he get a high score as a quarterback coming out of high school?
So I'm going to point this out. We're going to kick it to James. We're going to let him make the pick. But Alan kind of a little bit redeems himself here with the 3 TL. Does have to follow it up with Kenvy into Blaze Olive, but Kenvy's a guy we like. Maybe he's like a wide receiver, right? Like comes in, doesn't hit it the first year, second year he's great. James, looking at this, who do you like?
Duke is the early favorite for me. Then Moose, that's a good team. It's pretty nice. Mind that.
Oh, what did I draft in that?
I think in
What crap did I take in that league?
in no particular order, probably Duke, Moose, Allen. Nathan, yours is nice.
We'll cover it later.
Sorry, my cats are hungry, so I'm taking food out for them.
Allen doesn't have a support.
Oh, dude, my team is wet. Look at my team, dude. It's so good.
Yeah, I like
You
your team.
have Chime on the bench.
Does Alan not have a support?
Allen doesn't have a support.
Did Kev mislabel something again?
Oh, you know what? No, he didn't. He actually doesn't have Kenvy. He ended up with Huey, actually.
Okay.
Because he was the last pick.
All right, I was gonna say.
Yeah, so I went. So the way this draft went.
Who he play for? Golden Guardians?
Whoever. Nobody will.
Wow.
Serviceable guy. Can he play Jin?
I have to fix these later. I don't know if Kev's
Okay, so look at the way this draft went, right? So look at my position. If you look at the way this draft went, Pioshik, Prince, and Vikla go before me. So I have a decision to make. I either take Inspired or I reach for like Blabber, Berserker, or something. So I knew that like my options were limited, so I just went with like good old like reliable Inspired, and then I actually caught Berserker on the way around anyway, so it was fine.
Yeah, I like that.
I had no thought process for the LCS and LEC leagues, except for try to stack as much FlyQuest and Koi as possible.
It's tough. Like, so here's kind of my strategy. So if you're watching, I was really good at these leagues. I didn't play a ton of them. I'm not good at LCS, but I think I'm pretty good at making the playoffs and just not winning. Is actually not stacking the teams. Like, because stacking the teams gives you so much volatility that you do miss medians. If you can get like 3 or 4 different pieces, like good players from different teams that are going to score well. I mean, especially in a league like this where you have just a tremendous amount of parity, you can squirt yourself. I don't know why I chose that word, but you can squirt yourself into the playoffs. And And
thinking about
like you at least give yourself a chance, right? You just got to win 2 games from there. Heads up.
You're on a roll tonight, man.
I think you meant skirt, like skirt by.
No. I meant squirt.
Too.
Squirt was what I wanted to say. I don't know why that's what I wanted to say, but it feels good, dude. It feels good.
Okay,
I'm not
hear
mad
me
about
out.
it.
What if Golden Guardians get Josh to play Lilia at the top lane?
Ooh.
Genius.
Dude, they're just. I mean, like the team.
As long
the
as
team
he
could-
doesn't puke. On
I don't
the
think the
floor,
team could take
we're good.
Josh's voice comms. Okay, like that's first and foremost.
As long as he doesn't puke on the floor, we're good.
You need to set a limiter when you're in comms with him. A compressor, like an audio compressor.
We didn't set a limiter the other day, and it was bad. he just trashed Kevin for 2 hours. It was pretty great.
Look, I'm not going to lie. I went back and looked at that game history. I do not remember that 3-17 game on Blitzcrank. I don't remember it at all.
Yeah, so that was why we lost. It was you. that
Hey,
bot lane was so
Hey,
bad.
look, it was the entire bot lane. Look,
That bot
it was
lane
not a
had
good
3 kills.
we were pretty bad. It was tough.
Oh man.
All right. So, like, who won the draft? Like, who did we say? Is it Allen? Is it Duke?
It's Dan.
Is it Harvey?
It's Dan.
Who's Dan? Wandalik?
If CLG goes like 5-4, like if they win, if they have a positive record somehow, Dan just wins.
I love the funniest part about doing the. I didn't get in any of these this year, but I've done them in the past. The funniest part is when it's just like a fantasy football draft with like maybe you have like 2 people that like really know what's up and the rest is just like coworkers or something like that. Or you have the one where it's like you have like 8 people that know what they're doing and it's like 2 randos. Those are the best because the randos are just going to throw chaos into everything. Yeah. And you always end up with like, oh yeah, I'll take Tom Brady in the first round or whatever. I'll take 5 CLG players.
Real quick, guys. Do you guys think Envy gets over 4.5 kills tonight?
Ooh.
I have his 50th percentile at 1 higher than that. As per projection listed on Underdog.
I don't have a lot of data on him, but it's negative boost, so I'd probably say no.
They're a terrible team, but
Can he get 5 kills against?
So let me ask you this:
Probably
in
not.
2 maps, right?
Yeah, in 2 maps.
2 maps. I mean, the other 2 that I'm looking at here: Aiming 5.5, Def 9.5, and Showmaker at 7. Obviously, we assessed that 6.5 was like a spot on number, so maybe you go under 7, right? Or I don't know. We like Aiming 5.5. If they're going to keep this competitive, and Payas and that bottling, Payas and Delight were somewhat competitive. Gumi's a bit overrated. I like Aiming over 5.5.
I have him for 3.2 at 2 maps, so I'm going under on that. I'm under on that.
But that's because you expect T1 to lose to win both games, right? So KT loses both
James,
games.
you're doing odds weighted, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
Well,
why
I mean, all of these
sense.
are odds weighted.
But-
Like your best way to get attack attack some of these is find an underdog that you think is going to take a map, and then you just have a great chance of hitting the over on those players if that happens.
If
I have
assume that
Aiming at
KT
6.5
wins,
also.
if
I
I'm
don't know.
going within wins, I'm at 10 kills for Aiming. It's a good spot if they win.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
it's 6.5, you know.
But you just need 1 win though. Like that's 5 and like 1, right? That's 6.
sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah. If you think they take a map, then that's fine. And we all said at the beginning of this that we think KT is underrated in this spot. So I'm fine with that. But from a projection standpoint, it's pretty clear under.
Like, look, if you were going to take an under because you thought Aiming was going to go under, I'd take under on BDD. They ban Azir. The dude's got 4 kills. He can't do it. Like it's just.
Oh yeah, no, under on BDD for sure. Yeah.
Over on Keen for that team.
They just don't have the keen. They have Faker 6.5, Gumi at 9, BDD at 4, Aiming at 5.5, Showmaker at 7. So look, I will say something. You know, I do like the underdog product a little bit more, but I will tell you that you guys are somewhat of cowards. You're always putting the supports up there. I don't know. Maybe that's look. If we see a lot of Jhin support, maybe I'm wrong here. But I like switching it up. I like seeing the Jhin on top.
I won't get into specifics as to why we do that. There's obviously a reasoning behind there. I'm not gonna like
Because it's the highest variance. That's why.
talk bad about anything, but I think that I like to vary the positions, and then for the main leagues, like if you look at the rivals tab, I offer every single player no matter what on the team. So like I offer the support in a position, and I offer everyone else in rivals against each other. So I
There's
still
no Zeus. There's no Zeus today, so I don't believe you.
there's Zeus in rivals.
Today? No, there isn't.
Oh, then there's Zeus in the over under.
Oh, there is. Okay, I see what you're saying. All right, hey, James has got to get out of here, so let's get into an LEC draft. You know what? Actually, James, before you go, let's not do an LEC draft. Let's do the
show
infamous draft.
him the boost though.
Let's go. We got 2 drafts here that we want to talk about. This is going to be the primary draft. This is the first one here. So when we look at these teams here and we look at how they're put together, we want to highlight one team in particular, especially with the thought process and the meta was go JDG. That was number 1. Top Esports was number 2. So look, we have our boy Big Kev here. We have our boy Big Kev, who decided to take Wayward. He's changed it now. He took Wayward and Mark. Okay, took Wayward and Mark. And I want to point out the guys that were available still. Rookie, Jackie Love, Xiaohu, Yago, Crisp, Gala, Elk,
Xiaolongbao,
Wei. I just the thought process was that I forget what he explained to us, but did he not fuck up?
There was no
worse
thought
than
process.
anybody.
Hold the fucking phone here, Kev. Just just hold the phone for me. Here for a second.
He could have gone Rookie and Jackie, and he went fucking.
He literally mentally boomed his way out of the draft. He's like,
I want you to understand what you just did. You had on the board like Saquon Barkley and Devontae Adams, and you took like TJ Hawkinson.
Well, so to his defense, this is what he says.
If you think it's like a Travis Kelce situation where you're taking positional scarcity,
No.
maybe.
This is like a TJ Hawkinson.
But if you're going to take
Yeah.
Mark Gelati, you got Jackie Love right there. You take Jackie Love and Mark, right?
I could see that.
But he's mad because Prodigy took Missing because he thought Big Kev wanted Missing and Prodigy wanted Rookie. And so to really spite Prodigy, he takes Wayward and Mark. Like completely, absolutely crazy. So we wanted to point that out. But before you go, James, I'm going to show you one other draft, and this was a tough draft. This was the East 12. Okay, so this was different. This is first of all, it was a pain in the ass to fill because like 8 people backed out. But this is a 12-man team or 12-man league. We've got 10-man rosters, LCK and LPL. James is leaving here in 2 minutes. James, who do you think won this draft?
Oh, this is my only draft that I didn't like my team in. I will say that.
Can you change Rich to Invincible?
It's going to be Rich eventually.
First off, it doesn't matter who I choose because Seabavin's still going to sun run into fucking winning this thing. So
he's got a 4-stack of Wii, dude.
and they just beat Fun Plus Phoenix. What do you mean?
It doesn't matter who he drafts. He just sun runs. That's all he does.
He's going to finish second. He'll finish second in the league.
He's got LCK and Team Wii. TWE.
Man, what a massive draft.
Yeah, we did it because I mentioned that we should do a 12 person. It'd be way funner.
It's a lot.
This is cool.
I thought it would be way more fun to do 12.
You guys,
to be honest,
I think this is the only draft that Nene / You Should Know Me got drafted in. Just a quick point there.
Yeah, I got Wink though. I got Wink in a lot of places. I love Wink.
That was the pick of the draft I think so far. Was the Nenny late pick? Whoever got that.
But dude, guys, he's played 2 bad teams. Like I love him. He's a great player. But you know what's going to happen? They're going to play good teams, and he's going to get just shit on, like Shanji, like Zika, like any of these guys that we've seen in the past. I will tell you who won this draft, and I don't even think it's a question aside from me. Actually, the number 1 team is Moose. Looking at it right now, I think Moose is. I might have said Duke Rules before because BLG, but I don't think BLG is going to be a bloody team and wins based off of what we've seen so far. Moose won this draft.
I like Moose, Stand Aside, and Fries a lot. I like yours too, Emmerich.
Yeah, my top was going to be Stand Aside.
I like Stand Asides because so I like
this is disrespect.
All right, so maybe it's just me, but this pool of players, it seems like a lot of you had the same idea where your singleton, like your single guy on the bad team or single guy on like the mediocre team was the right guy. So like Beishuan, I think, is one of those people. I think Shanji, OMG might be okay, but like I think Shanji is a top laner that's like he's a position breaker, right? Like he's going to score way higher. If he's anything like last season, even if he regresses a little, he's going to score really, really well for that lane. So I like him. And just the God mode 80 carries is good to have.
I got on last pick. Look at that. That's
Yeah,
great.
that's a crazy draft. I think Stand Aside is probably like just by a hair, but Stand Aside, Moose, I
These are
even
all
think
pretty
that
good.
like if the Shy is like a party, then I don't hate Ben OD because he's got some carries there, and like I think FPX has upside.
Kev.
Emmerich, I like your team a lot, but I'm also a little bit lower on Ninjas and Pajamas /V5.
Yeah, I mean, it's just where you came back. Like, if you're taking the third pick, like, you can see
Yeah.
what's after. And, like, if you looked at the rest of my drafts, I'm 100% BLG. So I wanted to get a little different
I was
here.
gonna say
And so the
Duke.
next-
I was gonna say I like Duke's too, but his bench is real soft.
I mean, all the benches are soft, but his is
Yeah.
super soft. All right. Well, hey, James, I appreciate you coming on. Next time, maybe bring a bottle of wine or two.
Oh yeah, sounds good. All right, yeah, nice talking to you guys. Nice
Later,
talking to Moose.
Take it
Nice
easy,
seeing you,
James.
Nathan. Talk to you later, Moose, and I will talk to you later, Emmerich. See you later, guys.
Check him out at paydirt.com. Best value, way better than even with the 15% off at RPS. Go over there, check it out. So let's get back to the drafts at hand.
Yeah, just no question, better product than RPS as well. So
I mean, it's look. If
Wait, is
if you
Kev
want-
like is this Kev? Does Kev work for RPS or something?
Kev is
Yeah,
the
he's
lead
the-
guy at RPS.
Oh,
yes.
really? Okay.
I
yeah, I've
am.
been for a long
I was
time.
wondering like why is like what's with the ball busting on RPS? Like did somebody
RPS
do
works for
something?
him.
Like
He runs RPS.
oh okay, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
he's actually Big T. That's Kev's real name.
I've met Kev. He's not Big T.
Really? Wow, that's surprising.
All right.
Can
So
someone
we're into the
walk on that?
LEC here. We're into the LEC. Kev, why don't you get us some hats or some T-shirts or something like that? You know, maybe some tank
Oh yeah,
tops.
Kev, let's swap. I'll send you a shirt. You send me a shirt. I've got too many.
Gelati, I don't know if I showed you or you saw. I got some Shark Cove shirts. I got a Shark Cove mug now, and I've got a shark in the background
See the shark.
right there.
I know, Gelati, we missed you in Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's where we needed to see your ass.
We got
Shark Cove
mugs,
mug. You
too.
can't really see
You
it.
could have
dude.
seen
It's
Yo,
terrible.
book me for one of each, man. I'm in.
Yeah, Chris, Emmerich, you gotta send me. You gotta show me where I can get one of those.
Look, I'll get you one, Nathan. The next time, I'm not shipping it international. So next time,
I might be coming to the Carolina area. Like I know it's not where you are, but like close enough.
It's not that far.
In April, so I might.
All right.
I'll see.
I'll try not to be out of country at that time because it's probably around the time we're going to Colombia. But let's get to the point at hand here. Gelati, we want your opinion here. Who won the draft?
Oh, we're back to LEC. Ugh. Nobody.
I really like Twins. I'm not a big Koi guy, but like I like the Koi her stack.
I do too. I like
Kev,
going.
what?
OMD went from what he did in the other league to this. I actually kind of like his team in this.
Yeah,
I
I think OMD makes the playoffs as long as Heretics is good.
I think
Sure.
Mad Lions are going to be like that 500 team, but their wins are just going to be like
Elioya
they're
75.
just going to they're just going to be Fiesta games. So
Ben OD has a team that has a really high ceiling too.
I like who's TT Curse? Is that somebody?
That's
That's
free roll
his
DFS.
name is TT Curse.
It's free rolls. I like that team too.
Oh, that's free rolls. Okay, now I know.
I actually like that team. He's got all winning players besides Zhonghoon and Zhonghoon fucks. So Zhonghoon is the biggest alpha in the LEC. Like he's the new alpha dog. He's bigger than Caps, bigger than Yankos. He's the guy. He's that guy.
All right, let's take a look at the LEC 50. Let's see, like no draft here. Like none of these teams look terrible. Nobody's stacking SK or Astralis or something like that. The
Yeah.
LEC 50, we've got Big Kev here with a nice little Vitality Heretics stack. We've got Alan going heavy on Mad Lions. We've got Harvey going heavy on FNC. This draft was off the hook. Dude, everybody has a stack. Like whoever wins the league is going to win this draft, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, everyone's a stack. I mean, Joffrey took the diversification approach.
He's gonna get to the playoffs with like Kev, Nathan, and Stand Aside, and he's just gonna have to hope whoever he's playing.
He's gonna have to hope.
Well, actually, you know what? This isn't even a head-to-head league. This is a points league. This is different. This is a total points league. So,
oh shit.
Yeah,
I like my team more than
I like Kevin, Nathan, and Harvey. I like the stacks. I don't know.
People don't respect Team BDS.
No. I can't believe Marcoon went undrafted. How disgusting is that in Lebrov? Jeez. All right, let's go into the LEC 52. A little different here. I went with a little Heretics XL stack.
Here. This is ridiculous.
I'm really hoping that XL is a strong team, that Eevee and Yankos are good, and somehow I ended up with Shio here. But yeah, I mean, like, look, if XL is good, Xerxes is probably good. You got the worst part of XL, but you got Larson, and maybe he steps up. Maybe it's not what James said.
I've got Exakick, which is what matters. I've got the good team. I think that I like.
If you look up here, this is the one draft that we got John in. He went he took Rux.
Maple.
The number 2 pick.
He's dank memeing with Astralis, man. Is he doing this while he was like grinding poker?
He did it for fun. He did it like this is not a plus.
This is a dank meme. I was gonna say this is a dank meme.
No, this is how
beat the fact that he took Lebrov first round and won last split.
I know. It's just the style. It's just
this is what he does. He goes support first, and then he stacks Astralis because he's drafted Kobe almost every single time since he stopped watching League all the time. He loves Kobe. I don't know. And then you throw him with Dayor, you throw him with a BDS nuclear in who changed his name to NUC. Like, holy shit.
Dude, the example I used earlier about like the random in your fantasy football draft that like takes the random takes Tom Brady in the first round, right? Yeah. John is that, except the guy that's doing that in his fantasy league doesn't know that that's bad. And John knows that this is bad. So it's even better.
So the two teams I do think that are very good in this, I think Prodigy's team is pretty good as long as BDS is like not one of the first two out. And I think Harvey's team is pretty good. If we're looking at Vitality, we like Kev's team and the other one. I think that, I don't know, like the LEC seems like the way that these teams are drafted is so much less exciting than some of the other leagues. But let's go to the LEC 100 and see if that changed anything.
Really on brand there, Nathan, with the underdog.
Isn't it?
Yes, it is. Big
Got
chilling.
Both of them chilling back here. There's one. There's the other.
Good dig.
All right, so we've got Moose here. Moose with the double SK 3G2 stack. We've got Nathan with the 3 Koi.
Good luck. I've
got the Heretics Vitality XL. I mean, again, like, I don't know. I think that the LEC drafts, for whatever reason, were sharper than a lot of the other ones.
I like your team in this one, Emmerich.
I think this was one of the only ones that I was able to like really not like. I had 3XL and I didn't want 3XL, but it was like just head and shoulders better than any other pick that I had the last time. That being said, I guess I picked 113. I guess I picked the complete griefer instead of Lebrov, Sheo, and Dayor, Finn, or Kill. Okay, yeah, look, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, you're trying to inverse mush yourself. You're gonna bet. You're gonna bet against him a bunch, right?
Well, am I going to take Lebrov? No.
Well, I'm saying, like, you're going to bet against 113 a lot, right? So maybe, like, if he just steals all your money during the season on your bets, you recoup some of it with the. I mean, I don't know when you're ever going to start him.
I mean, look, I thought about that today. Like, so Nathan, like, I that's always my strategy. And I had like that Reeker prop, and Reeker was like, if Reeker went positive and won his prop, I was going to go positive for the day. I thought about trying to hedge it, but I was like, man, I got to get another pick right along with it to like hedge it.
You ran pretty hot with the Reeker over, and when their team has 10 kills, he got 7 of them.
I mean, look, it was a Reeker versus it was an Akali versus an Ornn, and I needed 1 kill more. Like,
yeah, but you didn't know I think it was closed before drafts, right?
yeah, it's close before drafts, but like, I mean, it's a good bet. It was a good wager.
Sure. No opinions on whether bets are good or not, of course.
I mean, the line was good, right?
I think the line is good.
I don't think that line was good.
You
I thought
would.
that line,
No
that was one of the worst ones in my opinion. But it was one of the ones that I was right on. So let's take a look at the LPL. Let's get Gelati's take. We already talked about these about a week or two ago. Gelati, I just want you to take a look at these teams and give us your initial opinion. Here we go. LPL 25. Take a look, digest it. Who do you like? Who do you hate?
I hate the 4-nip team. Sorry, Wandelsh.
Are you surprised?
There's one. That's one.
I mean, I'm not surprised that he did that, but
He did it.
It's a straight NIPWE pick.
So it was better.
Dude, bunch of sharks in here. Everybody's hip to Beishan now. I like it.
Not really. Like Beishan gets picked pretty late.
Oh, I'm like thinking I'm ass backwards.
I think
he was in the 5th round.
These leagues is like pretty important. I can't remember the exact, like the ones that went drafting first are very different composed teams than the ones that drafted after.
Yeah.
This was the league that I think took the longest to draft. It was the first one to start, last one to finish.
Yeah.
I like Cookie's team a lot.
That's very different than like what the last start one looks like. Like so different.
Well,
Yeah,
Gelati, if
I
you
like
Cookies teams.
I like
or you
Cookies. I
love mine.
like Prodigy's team a lot too, but I'm also the shy person. So, and you got a good backup. So, if that doesn't work out, I like Prodigy's team a lot actually. I like Corey's team's good too. I'm kind of lower on OMG than I think a lot of people are. I'm lower on Ninjas and Pajamas than a lot of people are. But I mean, I don't like if you're gonna take a player from OMG, I think you should take Shanji. Just because like he's an outlier at that position. Same with Rich. Like of those two teams, I actually think those are the guys to take because like relative to their position, they're gonna do really well most of the time. Whereas like you look at like carries on other teams and their top laners on other teams, it's like they're all the same more or less. It's just you want to be on a team that's winning, right? So yeah, I like Prodigy, Cookies. I kind of like OMD's team a little bit and Corey.
Who lost the draft?
Probably Jordan. Probably who you highlighted. Jordan.
Oh, wow.
Or Randell, because I don't like Ninjas and Pajamas that much.
Oh, my God.
I mean, they're like a weird team because like I don't think they're going to be bad. I just think I'm way lower than market on them. So like they'll be good. They have good players. They have continuity. So we'll see. They have like weird continuity though. So
Gelati, what about we talked about this draft. We know Kev lost this. Who won this draft though?
I mean, I like Prodigy in this one too. He drafted in the same position again, didn't he? Was he 9 in the other one or 8 in the other one?
Well, yeah, he was actually 9 in a couple of them.
Yeah, I like that. I like your team is stacked.
Oh,
I like your team a lot too. I like BLG a lot.
Oh, you'll love all my teams.
Is really, really good.
This is probably my least BLG team here.
Joffrey's is good. Twins fans, I don't like. I'm mostly just talking my book. Like, so if I'm higher on BLG than market, lower than Ninjas and Pajamas than market,
So
I'm
one of the
gonna
things that
lean
I'll
that
point
way.
out is that in the early drafts, Gelati, is a lot of people weren't going with RNG. They started to pick up some steam as the drafts went on. Same thing with BLG. I started drafting BLG early, and all of a sudden I can't get my BLG players. Same thing for
Everyone got
Nathan.
hip to it.
Nathan was drafting Weibo players and then couldn't get his Weibo players. I am worried about BLG. I think that they're very good. I just don't know how well they're going to score. They still feel like it's like you can change the entire team and they're still going to lose one of the first 2 games and then win the series, and that does cap their upside. I don't think RNG is that good, and I think once Angel gets there, maybe it changes things. But like Kev had, or not Kev, it was Nathan that had me put him in the S tier or the A tier, and I don't know.
Hey, first of all, Angel and Ming versus Tangwan and Bunny is a totally different game.
Yes, it is.
Like like you're losing 40% of your starting roster, and they're like big pieces.
Yeah,
like,
they're like
piece.
they're that team. They've been that team for how many years now?
Yeah.
So
I mean, they can't not be an.
Or not Angel. Sorry, I'm thinking Yahoo, but they have Angel now, right?
I mean, it's the same. He's filling in that role.
Ming is unbelievably good.
He's
I
that
don't think
guy. Yeah.
he's that guy. Like I think at this point in his career, he's got enough of his resume. He's got a case for like top 3 or 4 all time. Like all time, any region. He's just done it. He's done it with everybody. It doesn't even matter who's there. I mean, he had good 80 carries to start with. I mean, Gala had all these highlight plays, but you look on at like an average game for RNG, Ming is pivotal to like everything they do, and has.
Would you say
years?
Would you draw the comparison that he's kind of like the double lift of LPL?
No. Him and Mako, there's a reason those guys still have jobs because they're still killing it. They're both of them are so good. I think those 2 are so much better than almost all the other supports in this league. It's not even funny. And look at those teams. Look at the teams. Look at the teams. Like the teams they're playing on, obviously, they're good organizations with a lot of money. But the 2 of them have been there for 5+ years each, and they've each had maybe 1 bad split period.
EDG,
they're good.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, well. EDG had 2021? They didn't make playoffs or something. That was like their worst split ever. They're wagging.
I mean, but Gelati, come on, I've got On and PP God. Like when we're talking about like killer supports here.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm sorry.
I like your team a lot because I guess
Jerry's gonna get the start all year. Okay,
that's fine. Jerry. That's fine. So let me ask you this. Let's get into the best leagues, the hundreds. I wasn't in this one. We've got
sharpest, some would say, except for a couple of those teams. There's a full stack team. We've got a 5-3 team.
So Wildland went NIP FPX again. We've got Nathan with the Weibo, and then he loves Leave. He thinks Leave's fucking just as good as Fight.
Okay, so I don't love.
Then he backs him up with Betty.
I like EDG, and Leave has like stupid stats and wins. Yeah. Like stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. In what league?
I don't care. He plays the role. Like that's the role he's gonna have on this team.
Yeah, unless they're gonna overhaul him as a player, they wouldn't have brought him in for another reason.
Look, they need to win. That is number 1.
Thank you.
Dude,
yeah, of course they need to win for him to.
Dan does not give a shit.
I
love it. I love it. Like
I love Dan's team.
It makes it more fun for the rest of you. Like
it does. But look, hey, let me ask you this. So talking about EDG, Nathan's super high on him. Avalanche set their line at 10.5. That was there were 2 lines he set that I thought were just absolute smashes. Under 10.5 for EDG, and LNG over 6.5.
Talking match wins, right? Yeah.
Yep. Apparently, EG over 4.5 was a fucking lock too, but I didn't bet that.
I mean, I probably would bet under, but I think they're probably going to be in that ballpark, like 9.5, 10.
I have EDG at 9 flat.
Yeah, like I mean that's probably an under bet, but just like with most win total markets, I mean he's just making those on his. He does a pretty good job with those, by the way.
He does. Usually you go to the last game.
Mostly extrapolating futures along with first and second.
Yeah,
round,
that's
odds.
That's all.
A lot of smart people in the Discord.
I mean, the thing is, like,
and now that we got rid of Mike B,
EDG are a team where you look at the roster and it's like, okay, like roster, organization, coaching staff, this team's probably going to be good. Like, they're going to be a playoff. They're probably going to be a top 8 team. I say playoff teams, usually the 9 and 10 just get whacked right away. But, I mean, they still have Mako. I mean, the other thing you could, like, I would take the under, though. One, because I think it's just reasonable based on the projection, and 2, though, I mean, you're basically saying that the market's overrating them, which is probably true. Like, this is a lot. Like, there's a lot of really, really good players, but it's a lot of moving parts. Like, there's a complete overhaul, right? I mean, you have two guys came back, and I guess coaching staff too. But
so 2 points on these teams here. I think Moose's team. Now that we know what we know about these teams, I dropped my pen. My bad. I think Moose's team's a little bit better. I mean, you have your weaknesses. Actually, yeah, I don't like your team.
yeah, I don't like your team at all.
I like Jay Creed's team.
My team was
one person that I think
plane, and I didn't have the updated Excel sheet. And okay, we're not going to talk about it.
What do you mean? It's a live. It's updated. It's updated on the sheet.
It wasn't
but anyway,
updating on my phone.
Yeah, Jay Creed's team.
You and Dan.
Jay Creed, Duke.
I think M. Bellman's team.
I like
really,
Bellman's team.
is
I like
really
Bellman's
sneaky.
team. I like Nathan's
Shit
team
bench,
a lot.
but
Yeah, actually, everyone's team in this league is stacked besides Dan's and Moose's. I hope you guys win.
If V5 comes out and just like whacks the team, like the league this year, Dan's just cleaning up.
The
Like,
funny thing is, yeah,
wins
like
the
that's it. Like he's basically praying. Like, I don't know if he thought about it this way, but he's basically like, hey, everybody.
No, he's done this every year.
No, but
He
like
did it last year too.
if V5 has like if they have like a 65% win rate, Dan just wins the league most likely.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
As long as they win their last
if they get like 10
four
match wins,
games.
he's gonna kill it.
As long as like 4 of those are the last 4. All right, this one, this is one of my favorite for me personally. I have a terrible bench.
I
My
like
starting 5 feels absolutely stacked. Nathan, now that we're looking at it, I feel even worse about your team than I did before. I kind of liked it. I don't think that I won this draft by any margin.
I mean, yeah, obviously I'm very high on EDG and FPX compared to the field. I will say that I did this before I like modeled-ish out the season, and like I'm a lot lower on FPX now than I was, but like bias, still there for me. Even after the pretty bad performance in their first game. But I do like my team a lot worse now also. But I still have like 2 Weibo, like 3 EDG and a BLG player on this team. Like I don't hate it, but I don't love it anymore.
I like this team, but again, I like BLG and Weibo more than a lot of people do.
I like Weibo and BLG so much, like very much.
No, people love Weibo. People love Weibo.
Weibo winning yesterday was perfect.
I had Weibo. I had Weibo 2-0. I had everything I could get.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, so I don't. I think this one's pretty even. I don't think it's different after watching 1 to 2 games. I like Just E. Like, I invited this guy to my seasonal DFS league for football, and the guy fucking wins it.
Yeah, this was. I like his team a lot too. Actually, he's diversified.
He's going to make the playoffs, and then he has a shot to win it.
Dude, he's diversified, and he's probably got 5 winning. Like, his starters are all on winning teams. So like, and is this total points or is this against median?
No, this is a median.
If this is median points, there's no way he doesn't make playoffs.
Yeah, that's so. Gelati, we're going to get into what I think outside of Kevin's drafts is probably one of the most scariest drafts. Like, it was absolutely disgusting. We're going to look at the draft order, not the incomplete composition of the teams, because this was disgusting. This was like everybody eating mushrooms, being peak trip when they drafted here. I don't think anybody except for myself was in this. Let's just start. It starts off okay. We've got a Knight Ruler, missing positional scarcity. That's cool. We got Jackie Love. That's okay. I steal Kanavi at 5. If we're talking positional scarcity and you're taking missing and not Kanavi, that's a problem, right? But then this draft just kind of goes, we continue on a good streak here. Xiaohu, I don't know. I guess we're going wayward. Like, that was the whole thing.
7. Wayward.
Gala 369, love it. Love 369.
Really
Hate that it
early.
always goes to the right. Wave's fine, Rookie's fine. Yagao probably should have taken out there, but I got him anyway. This is where it gets a little crazy, okay? So we get Tian. All right, we're picking for winners. Light, I love it. Why are we going so heavy on LCK players at this point? This is absolutely nuts. I don't know. After the first time we saw T1 and Damwon, maybe I'm a fucking idiot, but we got Kiera, Owner, Zeus, Chovy.
Chovy is
like
the worst.
what a four picks there.
Hey, by the way, T1 for the LCK teams, T1 is, I think, the way to go. Not just because they're going to win a lot, but fantasy production too.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that do you have them as their highest like total wins?
Yeah.
You do? I think I have Damwon higher.
I mean,
it's like the same. They're like so close though.
It's just gonna depend. I mean, yeah, I have them as the highest, but I'm kind of grain of salting that like maybe there's a little bit of a hangover and there's some rust to start, or not rust, but like they took extended off, or they had to take extra time off because they were already in final. It was November when they were playing. Everybody else was done already, or a lot of people were done already.
Yeah.
So now that we've looked at some of that, I think Crisp in the
This is
6
getting
was
weird.
proven to steal.
The
Let's take a
Shy
look at these
early,
teams.
like that's really early for him. This is third round, right?
Yeah.
And he was. I mean, he has Jehu, so I guess he's like kind of. It's
Stacking.
Paul. I mean, it's P Newman's Paul. I mean,
Yeah.
Like
it's
I like
the category of drafted as Dan.
it kind of fell apart after that for him. I think his first two were good. But let's look at these teams. So Twins fan goes NIP WE with some T1. I hate this team. I don't think this team does anything. You got Prodigy with some
And yet,
T1.
wait, hold up, man. I gotta call you on this because we're touting double LCK for DFS, right?
Yeah, but there's not scores here. There's not
That's
salaries. We've talked about this.
Yeah, but like
this is completely different.
That's a good point. My bad.
Like you're not looking at salaries. You're not looking at leverage. You're not looking
Ownership,
I don't promote a
etc.
lot
I
of
think
double LCK.
if you think that if you for some reason believe that the LCK is more weighted towards the top than the LPL, then stacking LCK teams is the way to go.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is
a good
like,
point, by the way, Chris. I didn't mean
But I don't think that the LCK is going to be like what we saw in spring and summer. We're not going to see
no.
an undefeated team and like a one-loss team. Like we're just not going to see
I
that.
feel the same.
And then like look, you go to the next team. You go to Prodigy, the biggest believer in my LCK preaching. And this guy goes 4 Gen G like and 2 T1 like look at what this guy has. Like this is arguably the worst good team that we've seen. Like we've seen some bad teams going through these drafts, but this team, Prodigy, like a lot of your drafts have been great. If you're watching, this one was shit. Like this one's terrible.
Well, this one, you're basically banking on the LCK and the LPL being the same violence level. We'll call it.
Like and look, it's always a possibility, but I think he has such a low ceiling here. Such a low floor.
Yeah, because like his entire ceiling is that happens.
His ceiling, is that we see T1 and Gen G from summer of last year,
or Gen G. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, or we get Gen G picking up an extra 7 kills on the.
To be fair to him, it's median matchup this league, right?
It's median matchup, yeah.
If Gen G and T1 just like are 1 and 2 in their league, he's making the playoffs, and he can.
I just don't think Gen G is going to be that team.
I agree with that sentiment. I do not think Gen G is that team. But if they turn out to be, he's just golden to beat the median every single week and then win most of his matchups.
Look, I've been wrong a lot on this show, so I could be wrong about this, but I don't think I am. Free roll, this team's like vanilla. It's vanilla ice cream here. There's no cookie dough. There's no chocolate chips. There's like it's like a brownie with nuts. I don't know if you guys are nuts fans of brownies. I like no nuts in my brownies, just chocolate chips. So that's what this team feels like to me. This feels like nuts in my brownie. Like the brownie's good, I like it, but I'm not going back for seconds.
We haven't talked too much about the LCK because it's kind of just started and we did at the beginning of the show. But like, what do you guys like? Overrated, underrated? How I Life Esports? Like for the let's say by the end of spring.
Over.
Like not right now.
100% overrated in my opinion.
What if they had a different jungler?
Just let's go overrated, underrated. Nathan says overrated.
I think they're 100% overrated, but I still think they win the league.
You think they're going to win the league?
I do.
Overrated, but they're going to win the league. That sounds like they're just about correctly rated. If you're
No. People like I think it's like they're going to go to 5 games like twice. They're going to like do fucking DRX just won Worlds, guys. It's the 6th best team. Like stop. And I called it. I killed both of Kevin's futures on Genji and T1. Killed them. I killed both of them by telling him that DRX is going to come and upset Genji and then beat T1.
DRX took me out of an obnoxious amount of money. I don't even want to say how much. It was a lot. The team.
Over or under 2 months pay.
Use the Eagles to win the NFC. Oh, over. Way over.
Yeah, I believe
way
that.
over.
I believe it.
All right, so let's break down these
Anyway.
other teams. We've got
So we all
Raw.
think you think Han was everyone thinks Han was overrated, but you think they're gonna win. You think they're gonna win?
Yeah,
this season?
what is that opinion? I don't understand. Yeah, I think
I
they're
think it's gonna be
rated
close.
high, but they're gonna win still.
All right, so
Yeah.
I had a reason for bringing that up. It wasn't just the YOLO. The reason I bring that up is Zika, clearly a good player, right? Ran
Maybe.
hotter than the sun at Worlds.
No,
He's still running hotter
Dude's-
than the sun. Did you
Dude's
watch last night?
Dude is a great player, right? It's a lot of faith to put in someone that just had. I mean, the guy just played like for 3 weeks straight, just like every single game was like the best game he's ever played, which is crazy. And maybe that's just going to be him moving forward. It was like it's like a hey, I'm that guy moment, you know.
He's the best ever.
But I mean, I could see it. Could happen.
He's really fucking good, man.
He is good. No, he is good.
He's stupid good.
But what happens if the
They
champs
nerf all the
change?
assassins. I was gonna say, what if happens they nerf if Silas
We've
and Kali
seen,
are on?
we've actually seen this with Zika before in the past.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
But maybe he's
I mean, he's also that was like more than a year ago. He had the entirety of last year to have carte blanche with his champions because nobody was willing to ban any of them. So, he could have been adding other stuff too. So I don't know. Maybe those champions get rolled out and he's still good. That's I'm open to that too. I just think.
So what you're saying is that you hate the fact that this guy Ben OD took Wayward at 7, Faker with the what was that?
Yeah, this is a weird one.
Took Faker in the 3rd round, and he has 2 HLE here.
He got Viper super late too. Look at that. He got Viper in the 4th round.
Yeah,
That's kind of nuts. People very much so value LPL players more than LCK. I think it's similar to like DFS, like slightly too much. In these
LCK
leagues.
AD carries produce and LPL junglers produce. Like that's
I mean,
not always, but that's what last year was like. So
it is one of the things that I look at when I'm looking at the higher lowers for ADCs. It's like, how long do I think the game's going to go? Where do I think the fights are going to happen? And it's funny because if you look at like LCK and LPL, like ADCs, they'll carry like a 30 to 35, sometimes even close to 40 kill share in wins. But you go look at like ERL or lower leagues, and they're like 25. I mean, it's completely different because of where the fights are happening, how they're happening, how long the games are. And it's just something I don't think a lot of people can see.
Yeah, it's team fights instead of isolated skirmishes. Like if you have a team that's structured in a way that they're going to be playing Phalanx, Deathball, 5v5, whatever you want to call it, and they're good at that, and they're good at not getting behind early, then their AD carry is just always going to be a producer. So like, I mean, that's what EDG was last season, right? With Viper and everything. Like that's
So Gelati, who squirts their way to the championship in this league?
Who what? Never.
Ugh.
Squirts their way. I said it intentionally this time.
I know.
I kind of.
Me.
This is the hardest one.
Bro, I've got Kanavi, Yago, and Elk with
I was
Mark
gonna
and
say,
Crisp.
no, I think
Mark and Crisp. Like
I think it's you. If I had to
I
pick
think so,
one
too.
person,
this
I
is
like
probably
your
my
team a
favorite
lot.
team. But that's because people
You're
were drafting these
you're
shit teams.
diversified. All of your players are on good teams besides Abel. Because I mean, again,
but when Abel
but OMG,
scores,
the thing
Abel
is,
scores
like OMG is fine. I don't think they're a bad, like terrible team. They're like,
and I've
fine.
got Cream with him. I've got Cream. So like, look, if these guys fail and I need Abel, I've got Cream with him.
Yeah.
Like if they all fail, I'm fucked.
I like your team a lot. I think That would be my pick for that league.
Let's hop into the 50 here. We've got Jordan, the AL lover, going with 3 ALs again. Not as bad
I'm
as
going
4.
with M. Bellman. I'm not even looking at the teams. So it's M. Bellman.
We've got Prodigy with the Gen G stack again.
I was gonna say, can you game stack in this? I don't know if you...
Big Cat, honestly, actually,
Bellman won with a double LCK. If he like what 2 days last night or was it 2 days?
I
ago?
like Kev's team a lot in this.
I like Kev's team a lot.
Oh,
You
Kev's
got
team
Missy,
Don't give his ego. that,
June,
guys.
Quing Tang. You got the whole LNG stack with you, Cal.
I like TT Curses. That's free rolls, right?
Yeah.
I like that one a lot too.
A lot of belief in DRX. That probably doesn't feel as good right now. Big
I
Kev
like
won
that.
this.
I like that roster a lot. I like the last 2 picks. I like
Look,
Kevin
if Dan1 comes out and puts up 19 kills or an average of 18 in both of their wins tonight, assuming that they win both, this M. Bellman team looks so much better because look, 369 is such a game changer, but like it's hard to say that when he played against Ben, and Ben just dumpstered him. And I don't think that happens against other top laners. I think Ben played that well.
Ben's
just playing out of his mind.
I also think that like the whole catch with top laners is that you have to figure out like what they're doing and what their role is on the team and if that's going to be a thing. Like Shanji, right? Like the reason Shanji is what he is because like he will just like pick Rumble. Like he'll just pick these giant ass team fighting characters that are going to rack up fantasy points, right? Whereas Ben might be playing out of his mind good, but if he's going to be playing like your Jaxes and your Camille's and stuff like that, where he's just going to take the other top laner out of the game, which is what he's so good at, then like he might not be a great fantasy scorer for or against him. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But it all depends on the teams. Like I'm with you though. Like that team could be good at 369 pops. I'm like just now looking through his I like Prodigy's team a lot too. And stand aside.
Gen G, it's tough for me. I mean, his bench is tough. That's the problem is that you're just so dependent on your top. And look, I got to the finals. I think I won a league like that. Like I don't think I ever played my bench last season. The problem is we delete all of these sheets. We should have kept them.
Yeah. You could do,
but never.
Like Xiao Hao's interesting as a one of too, because that guy, like when anyone's Legends wins, he's usually just he's like 8 kills on like Lee Sin or some shit. Like
yeah, but bro, like it's not a one off. It's like he's got the stack. Like so, here's the thing. I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Prodigy or somebody said it in the chat. Like, oh wow, Sword Art really got ruined by LCS. Like guys, he sucked before. There's a reason that On was playing last year. Like
okay.
You know, Sword Art was not good in the LCS. He wasn't good before the LCS. Suning made the finals despite him, not because of him. In my opinion.
I think you got to look at time periods for him because I think the fault fell off a cliff narrative gets thrown around way too much with players. But I think in his case, he was an incredibly good player for a long time, like across multiple leagues. And I even think for like the first part of that season where Suning went to finals, I thought he was great. But you're right. There's a reason he got replaced. So.
All right. Last draft. Here we go. This one, me, Moose, and Nathan are in. So Moose, say nothing. I know you're really chatty right now. You always are at the end. Nathan, I know it's super early. You got a lot of energy. Gelati, give us the winner here.
Is Dan in this one?
Give me a second. All right, I have 2 in mind.
So it's not Moose. We know that because you hate ninjas in pajamas.
I got 2 in mind. Let's see if you can guess them.
I'll
just say him. Yeah, it's you and Harvey.
Okay.
I like Duke's team a lot too in this case, but like top.
No.
The thing with top is like I have so many beefs with this team, but like god damn it, are they a fantasy wagon when they're winning? Like they're.
I think this is to be fair, I think this is one of Nathan's worst teams. I mean, look, I could be wrong about EDG.
I mean,
that's what if I'm wrong about EDG and EDG is this like 10, 11, 12 team win or 12 win team. Like I'm wrong, and then Nathan's team's fucking
Nate,
completely
your
amazing.
team's super high variance.
That's my entire
Yeah,
like all of my drafts rest upon Weibo and EDG doing well.
Yeah, like if those two hit, you're gonna sweep everything probably.
If there was anything that I wish people had picked up, it wasn't like that Nathan was drafting Weibo. I wish people had picked up that Nathan was drafting EDG and FPX, and that people would have gone with that. Those are the teams that I wish people had drafted more.
Emmerich, I think I like your team the most in this draft. I think
this is one of my favorite teams, actually.
I think if I had to pick in order, I think it's you, Duke, and Harby.
I really wish that I had not picked Ning, and I had gone with anybody. Like I wish I would have taken. You Should Have Known Me on Wink. Like I really liked them. I thought they looked good.
That back up for Leon.
Dude, Joffrey's team is actually interesting now that I'm like looking at the benches and stuff too, because he's got like a.
But dude, he's got like KT, like he's got BDD. I mean,
KT is gonna be a good team, dude.
But BDD is not a fantasy. He's not a fantasy guy, dude. It doesn't matter if you.
That is true. That is true.
Like we talked about one-offs that you want. Like that's the one-off that you don't want. Like there's 2 KT players. Like I would have rather taken Lehens, right? Like that's who I would rather have over like a Barrel.
Yo, make a market on KT finishing higher than Hanwha. I'm just curious.
I have him like almost dead even. I think actually no, I have KT above Hanwha. Let me see. I have it open.
When do they play each other?
I don't remember.
What do I think it just comes down to like what I have their win percentage against each other at. Let me see. Give me a second.
KT.
They play next week.
Oh, they do. That'll like all right. So hey, do I have you booked for next Thursday? Never mind. It's 2 game slate. It's 2 games.
I have. Yeah, give me a market. Yeah, give me a market for KT above Hanwha. I would take KT most likely at a lot of numbers.
Most likely, yeah. That's what I mean.
I wonder what the odds will come out of. Like if KT like.
I mean, this team only ever disappoints. That's the problem. So
what
like,
if they
I'm
lose
willing,
to,
like, I know that.
I want to see what you guys are going to say if KT loses to T1, Nongshim, and LSB and comes into this 0-3.
I'll probably still feel the same way. Unless I see something.
I mean, I think it'll actually be better to bet the number, right?
Probably, yeah. Actually, the best thing would be for them to like play a competitive series against T1, loot, and then like beat who they're supposed to beat, and then
I think I have definitely them plus 1.5 tonight. Like,
oh, that was I played that like last week.
Yeah, I haven't been like looking that far ahead. If I'm being honest, most of my betting action has been Arbing, Tennis Abstract, and Betway, and I've just been crushing.
Data golf. The data golf edge is drying up.
Data golf edge is still there for post first round and matchups.
It's there. So it's also there for like Jersey legal shops because the numbers are so shit. So you can actually
get. I totally believe that.
I mean, I haven't been crushing it, but it's like such a. Like I've literally just been like it wins like blind. I'm just like set and forget it. Like I just look it up. It's like part of my routine every like Wednesday morning.
Just slam the lines.
Yeah.
Kevin's putting KT plus 300 to finish over Hanwha. That's his line taking.
Kev, is that serious, Kev? What do you want to book for?
Well, he wants KT at plus 300, I think.
Oh, you might know if he wants.
All right, hey, what I'm gonna do, like real quick, guys. Like, actually, we've gone for like 2 hours here.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to end it without some music. If you guys want to hang out, I'll be right back. I'm going to spend 5 minutes, but if you got to go, you got to go. I know it's late for you, Nathan. Gelati, I don't know what you're doing, but I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
You can hang for a bit.
All right, hang out for a bit. Hey guys, if you watch this for 2 hours,
you're real.
You're real.